Hello, everybody, and welcome to the pregame show for this women's basketball game, the Battle of I-75 against the Toledo Rockets up at Savage Arena. We have Lucas Kleinmeyer and Adam Duffin on the call. I'm Kevin Hutchinson here in the studio, joined by Carter Leonard. Carter, how you doing today?
Doing great, Kevin. How about yourself?
I am doing good. So we're gonna just talk a little bit about this matchup. Talk a bit about what's going on here with this game. So, Carter, I'll let you kick this off. What are you thinking just about this matchup, and what are you looking for in this contest here?
Well, of course, with any event here, the Battle of I-75 is an event you're always going to look forward to, and women's basketball, of course, is no different. But this is going to be a bit of an interesting matchup. You have Bowling Green finally getting back into the win column with a win Wednesday night, 80-62 against Akron. And then you have Toledo, who have won 4 out of their last 5, coming in with the hot hand, so to speak, and currently 5th in the Mid-America Conference standings. So I think it goes back really to what Fred Schmiel, head coach of the Falcons, said post-game after the Akron win. He says, and I quote, "After these 24 hours are up, we have to focus and prepare." So it's kind of having that 1-0 mentality, so to speak, for the Falcons. So it'll be interesting to see how, what kind of momentum they have going into this game. So it should be fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And taking a look at the Falcons, currently 4-5 in the MAC conference, trying to get to 500 here with a win today. They've lost 3 of their last 5. And this is the first meeting with Toledo this season. Obviously, this matchup always brings a lot of drama. Coming into the game, the Falcons are 4th in the conference in points per game at 70.8, but not necessarily translating into wins. What do you think they're going to need to do to sort of just lock this one down today?
Well, I think it's just not only keeping up the momentum, but just, doing what they have done best, last game. And I think, spreading the ball around, letting, players get a lot of touches with the ball is definitely going to be important, because last game for the Falcons, we saw 4 different players in double digits in scoring, especially with the likes of, Paige Kohler, Jonea Donahue, Lauren Gherkin, and even Kaya Woods, who had an outstanding game with rebounding as well. That's another key aspect for the Falcons, is rebounding. If you're able to get to the ball and prevent the Toledo from scoring on offense, I think that's going to play a really big role into this game.
Yeah, 100%. That is going to be big. You mentioned Jonea Donahue. She is second on the team in rebounds with 98 total, leads in defensive rebounds with 71 of those. She's going to be a big piece. Taya Ellis leads the team with 115 total rebounds. So that is definitely going to be a factor for the Falcons here. And when it comes to Paige Kohler, she leads in points per game with 13.9. What do you think is going to be the key just to getting her activated in this game?
I think it's just getting off to a fast start. I think that's one thing that Bowling Green did well for the most part against Akron, was able to get off to a fast start and also lead a lot of fast breaks too. In the game against the Zips, you saw them really take charge on those fast break points. They outscored Akron 32-5. So if they're able to get down the court quickly, there's a good chance that ball is going to get from point A to point B. But back to Paige Kohler for a second, I think not only getting off to a hot start, but I think, also shooting from beyond the three-point line is definitely something that we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on as well. We saw a lot of three-point shooting last game, so I think if you're able to, get hot behind the line, I think it's going to lead to a bunch of good runs for this Falcon squad.
Yeah, for sure, and we will see what happens here. We're going to go to a quick break here, and then after that, talk a little bit about Toledo and what we can expect from them coming into this game. You're listening to Falcon Radio. Don't go anywhere.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best thing you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
All right, we are back here in the studio. Kevin Hutchinson and Carter Leonard. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Toledo Rockets. They are currently 10-8 overall, 5-3 in the MAC, and they are 7-2 at home. This is their 10th home game of the season. They're on a 2-game win streak, and they've won 4 of their last 5. Carter, maybe take us through what you're expecting from this Toledo team today.
Well, I think if you really want to start somewhere with this Toledo team, it's definitely with the key players, especially Kendall Caruthers. Leads the team not only in points, averaging 13.1 points per game, but also leads the team in both assists at 2.5 and steals with 1 or more steals a game as well. And not only do the Rockets have a great starting 5 with them, they also have done a really good job at bench depth as well, mainly with junior guard Ella Weaver, especially last game with their Kent State win that they had 59-53. She came off the bench and scored 18 points for the Rockets in that game. So definitely having that depth will definitely help the Rockets.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. They are currently 3rd in the conference in field goal percentage, so they shoot well when they take those shots, but they are 12th in 3-point percentage. They do kind of struggle from behind the arc. As you said, Kendall Caruthers is going to be their star player, sort of their number one option that they're going to look to tonight. Faith Fed Robinson leads in rebounds and blocks. She has 14 total blocks on the season. And not only is this a rivalry, these two schools are rivals in every sport, but big implications just for the future of the MAC standings. Toledo being 5th in the MAC, Bowling Green being 7th in the MAC. These are two teams that are trying to make that surge to try to make it to the MAC tournament. Just what do you think this game's going to come down to? Like, what do you think the difference is going to be in who comes away with the win?
I think we're definitely going to see a bit of aggressiveness. When these two programs go, mano-a-mano on the court or wherever it may take place, you're definitely going to see, good competitive action between the two. I think personally it's going to come to the physicality in the paint. I think that's just something that both teams have done a really good job of this year, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in that perspective. But, one team at the end of the night, Kevin, is going to prevail, so it'll be interesting to watch, and I think we're definitely going to have a good game on our hands.
Yeah, for sure. We will go to a quick break, and then we're going to toss to Lucas and Adam, who are currently at Savage Arena. They'll give us some updates there. Then we're going to come back and have our round table doing our Falcon 4 keys to the game for both of these teams. And then at 5 o'clock, we are going to get started with tip-off. Don't go anywhere.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Purchase your Downtown Motors Association with your repo tickets. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Carter. Here at Savage Arena, we are just about under 10 minutes away here for tip-off for the Bell I-75. And Adam, you and I were talking a little bit about this off-air, but with the way Bowling Green's season has gone at this point, you get that win over Akron Wednesday, but that's coming off of 3 straight losses against teams that are probably equal on pair or maybe a bit better than you in the standings so far. This one's pretty big, not only just because it is a rivalry game and you play this team twice a year, but just knowing that you can beat a top team in the MAC, knowing that you're going to have to do so multiple times in the MAC tournament.
Yeah, right now, Kevin just mentioned Toledo's 5th in the MAC, Bowling Green 7th. So if you lose this one, you make it even harder to climb up in those standings and really set yourself back if you just can't create some wins in these, toss-up games. You're on the road, rivalry matchup, and then you have to play Toledo a couple weeks from now. You also have some tough games on the road coming up against Ball State, and really, we talked about it. They beat Western Michigan earlier in the year. They faced them a second time. But besides that, there's not anything that you can feel overly confident in heading down the stretch.
Indeed. And this is a Toledo team that did make that run to the MAC championship last year. With now second-year head coach Jenny Bogus. And she's somebody that came in, got 24 wins in her first season, has had already a ton of success with the Rockets. But this year, they sit 10-8, and they're kind of up and down a little bit. With the way their schedule has gone as well, you could make the same argument. They need a win against their rivals because they want to go on a run here and make a stretch and eventually get to that MAC championship game again, but this time win it.
Yeah, they've won 4 of their last 5, and a win right now at home after the men's team just won a big game. Toledo basketball has a lot of momentum right now, and to really get the fans into it, as it is pretty packed here right now. You see the lower bowl in front of us. You turn around, there's people still filing in as we have not too long till game time, as Toledo, Ginny Bogus, you mentioned, last year, great job in her first season, but she also has not just MAC tournament experience, she has NCAA tournament experience. In her 3 previous years before Toledo, she was at Monmouth University, where in her second season, she did win the conference and go into the NCAA tournament. So she's a great leader at the helm for the Rockets, and it's going to be a tough task for Fred Shamil and the Falcons.
Yeah, for sure. I think I speak for you and I when I say this. We're both really, really excited about this one. It's going to be quite a good one, and both teams looking just to get a rivalry win and get some momentum going as we enter February, which is crazy that we're already in February, the final month of the regular season. So with that, Kevin, we'll send it back over to you guys in the Falcon Radio studio.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas.
Congratulations on getting your diploma.
You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the studio. Kevin Hutchinson joined by Carter Leonard. We're just going to do a bit more analysis here, talking about our Falcon 4 keys to this game. Carter, I'll let you go first if you don't mind. What are your keys for, maybe if you want to give 2 keys for the Falcons and 2 keys for the Rockets here?
All right, we'll start off with the Falcons. I think the first key is containing on defense, mainly with Kendall Carruthers. If you are able to hold down Toledo's lead scorer and can, maybe hold her down to 2 or even 4 points to start out this game, I think is really going to play a big factor.
Yeah, for sure. I think another big takeaway here, or another big key for Bowling Green, you are just going to have to try to shoot well, and that might sound obvious, but Bowling Green, even though they are averaging 70.8 points per game, shooting is something definitely to work on. The Falcons are only 9th in field goal percentage in the conference, so when you're taking a lot of shots and not all of those shots are connecting, it can be hard to win a game because now you have wasted possessions, and then that gap can grow kind of fast. I think another big key for the Falcons here is going to be activating those 3-point shots. The Falcons are 5th in 3-pointers made in the conference. That's going to be a big key. I think a key for Toledo if you're Toledo, like you said, getting Carruthers activated, but also just crashing the boards, using Faith-Fed Robinson to get some defensive rebounds and even some offensive rebounds to try and get second chance buckets, extend those possessions, maybe some and one opportunities. But I think this will definitely be a close game. Is there another takeaway you maybe have for Toledo in this situation?
Absolutely. We mentioned it really at the beginning of the show, and that's mainly the bench depth that the Rockets have. I think if you're able to really produce a good amount of points, and it doesn't really have to come off of one person like Ella Weaver that we mentioned earlier with her 18-point performance against Kent recently, but if you're able to spread the ball around when it comes to players off the bench and you're able to create big-time point opportunities, I think Toledo definitely would have a good chance of running away with it, so to speak.
For sure. We will see what happens there. We're going to cut to another quick break, and then after that, we're going to do a bit of an Around the MAC, taking a look at some of the games that already happened today and some of the games that will be happening during the rest of this weekend in MAC women's basketball. Don't go anywhere. We will be back momentarily.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
This is Andrew Smith, and you're listening to Falcon Radio, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
All right, welcome back. Carter, do you want to take us through some of these Around the MAC results?
Yes, of course, Kevin. Earlier to we had 4 prior games earlier to this game that we are going to have come up shortly. So earlier today in Akron, Ohio, the Buffalo Bulls traveled all the way there to play against the Zips. Akron came away with a 76-72 win. Meanwhile, down southwest of Akron, we saw the Ohio Bobcats take on the Miami Redhawks. Miami able to come away with a 20-point win, 90-70. And then earlier in Ypsilanti, Michigan as well, we had a little bit of an in-state battle between the Western Michigan Broncos and the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Western Michigan was able to come away with a victory, 59-54, so a little bit of a closer shootout, if you will. And then currently going on right now is the Chippewas of Central Michigan traveling southwest, to the DeKalb, Illinois, to play the Northern Illinois Huskies, and of course Bowling Green and Toledo coming up just in a few minutes. And the weekend Maction action does not stop. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. we have Ball State taking on Kent State inside Kent, Ohio. So a little bit of more Mid-America Conference play to cap off the weekend, Kevin.
Yeah, I think those are all some really exciting matchups. A lot of MAC tournament implications on the line for sure. All of these teams trying to make kind of that late season surge. As Lucas mentioned, we're entering the final month of the college basketball regular season here in February before the March Madness comes up. So those will definitely be some big games. It'll be interesting to see just the result of that game tomorrow between Ball State and Kent State. That's going to be at noon. A couple good teams there trying to duke it out, as it were. But I think as well, looking back at this game and looking back at just the implications of this game, Bowling Green is currently 7th in the MAC, tied with Eastern Michigan and also tied with Kent in terms of conference record. Toledo, as we established, is 5th. Who do you think needs this win more today, the Rockets or the Falcons?
I definitely think it's the Falcons, definitely for sure. Although you are still 2 games above 500, that conference record, if you definitely want to make tournament play, is going to have to really improve, and it's going to have to start now as the regular season starts to close out. But if you look at the Toledo side of things, as they currently sit 4th, you cannot really afford to lose any big games, as we mentioned the regular season closing out. So it's definitely not in the biggest must-win situation for both squads, but it's definitely one that you'd rather not lose in case, something were to happen later on down the line. But if you ask me who I think this is a bigger must-win for, it's definitely Bowling Green.
I 100% agree. You're looking at that 11-9 overall record, but only 4 of those 11 wins are conference wins. The other 7 were against, non-conference competition, which in basketball, you play some of those smaller schools, and it's not exactly the stiffest competition. And as we said earlier, the Falcons have lost 3 of their last 5. So if you lose today, now, losing 4 of your last 6, not a great momentum moment, going into February here. Last week's, or their previous win, the 18-point win against Akron, as you mentioned, big win, but trying to, Akron is kind of at the bottom of the conference, so you're taking on a bit of a tougher team today. I think, as we sort of alluded to, if Toledo loses this game, they're still very much alive, but if the Falcons lose, yes, of course, they're still alive mathematically, but the odds of making that MAC tournament just get a little bit longer.
They definitely do get a little bit longer, and it just really comes down to how you really perform in these, these last several games that we have remaining. And it's what we call crunch time, so to speak. So I definitely think Fred Schmiel for the Falcons is definitely, telling his team, hey, we still got a good opportunity at this. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's play. Let's have a good rhythm of playing, and who knows what the results may become later on down the line.
Yeah, for sure. But of course, you want to set yourself up to succeed. I think maybe another point worth mentioning, Lauren Gherkin for the Falcons. She leads the team with 25 blocks. She's definitely a versatile player if they can get her activated early. And Janaea Donahue leads with 75 steals. So if you can, get blocks, get steals, get some of those extra possessions in play, that's going to be huge for the Falcons, because probably the biggest defense for this Toledo team is just going to be keeping the ball out of their hands and stretching your possessions out.
And you mentioned Janaea Donahue as well. She's coming off a game where she had 6 steals as well. It felt like every time when Akron possessed the ball going down, whichever end of the court it was, whichever half it was, she was immediately to the ball. She was able to get her hand on the ball. And you mentioned Lauren Gherkin. She also had 3 blocks that game as well. So Bowling Green has shown that they can definitely have a knack for getting to the ball on the defensive side of things, but that consistency has to be maintained throughout tonight.
Definitely, and we will see what happens with that. We're going to toss to a quick break, and then after that, Lucas and Adam will take over with your broadcast. We will be back for the halftime show, but don't go anywhere. You're listening to Falcon Radio and the Battle of I-75, Bowling Green against Toledo women's basketball. Don't go anywhere.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious. Which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure, like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad, or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Tonight, 2 teams meet. And the first time the 2 teams faced off was January 19th in 1973. You fast forward 19,370 days later, the 91st Battle of I-75 between Bowling Green and the Toledo Rockets women's basketball programs. Good evening. Welcome inside the broadcast. Lucas Kleinmeyer, Adam Duffin alongside with you, both stoked for this one. 46-44, Bowling Green leads this series against the Rockets. It's been back and forth. It's been filled with hatred. It's been filled with heartbreaks. It's been filled with games that have played in the MAC championship games. It's been played games that are meaningless regular season games down the end of the year. Both these teams have faced each other on all different kinds of levels, and this one should be no different.
Yeah, very exciting atmosphere, and these teams, typically the home team has come out on top, and Bowling Green looking for a win on the road here in Savage Arena for the first time since the 2020 to 2021 season, as Toledo currently ahead in the MAC, 5th place right now as Bowling Green is 7th, but should be a good matchup for today.
Indeed. The 2 teams, as always, met twice last season. Toledo won right here at Savage Arena, but Bowling Green and Fred Schmiel got their first win over the dreaded Rockets at home at the Stroh Center, a big win that propelled them in that run towards the end of the regular season, heading into the MAC tournament. Starting fives have been announced for both these teams here. Toledo has always done a phenomenal job presenting their starting lineups here. Just got done. We'll start with the visiting Rockets, the home team, Toledo Rockets, obviously the visiting team, as Bowling Green Radio broadcast host as well. So for Toledo, Faith Fed Robinson, Kendall Carruthers, Patrice Anumba, Candice Dykstra, and Miriam Dahlia to start the starting five for Toledo.
And for Bowling Green, it is Kaya Woods, Paige Kohler, Taya Ellis, Lauren Gherkin, and Janea Donahue.
Another unchanged starting five for head coach Fred Shamil. It appears that to be the starting five that he's liked the past couple of games, and probably going to be a starting five down the stretch if all things go as planned. But now if you're Bowling Green, all the hype leading up to the week after that win against Akron now you put to rest, and now you're just trying to get that big road win to propel you into Kent State on Wednesday.
And you just mentioned it, this starting lineup has been together the past couple games, as between some injuries, this lineup was changing throughout the whole season. It really, you had no consistency besides Paige Kohler being there. So last game, starting five, everyone was in double digits except Taya Ellis, but she still had 8 points and 8 rebounds. So if your, I guess, worst starter almost has a double-double, it must be a pretty good game.
Indeed. Well, it's a packed Savage Arena. It doesn't disappoint. Bowling Green going to be in their road brown with orange stripes from head to toe. Toledo in their home gold with navy strips. They'll be going from left to right. Once again, Bowling Green will be going from right to left. It'll be Taya Ellis on center circle for Bowling Green to get us started. And for the Rockets, it will be Diala. A transfer that came over for Toledo has made quite the mark here early on. Head official talking to head coach Fred Shamil before we get this one underway. Now we'll talk to our other official. Just trying to build the anticipation up just a little bit more in this building.
Yeah, and I got to say for Bowling Green, this is the most hostile road environment they're going to have all year, maybe besides South Carolina, but out of the MAC all year. And it's very important. They don't have a slow start. They've been prone to those throughout the season.
Absolutely, indeed. All right, the first leg of the Battle I-75 for the 2025-2026 season is underway. It's tipped and won from Kaya Woods. She'll be going from right to left and start the offense here for Bowling Green, top of the key. She'll hand this off inside Taya Ellis. Ellis looking for an option. Gets it back top of the key. Here's Gherkin guarded by Dykstra. Trying to hand off to Kaya Woods. Miscommunication there, and it goes out of play. And an early turnover to start this one for Bowling Green.
That's exactly what can't happen, getting the crowd excited after just missing a handoff.
So a little bit of miscommunication there. This will be Kendall Carruthers, averaging 13.1 points per game in her second season with the Rockets. Up for this one. Here's Faith Fed Robinson, the two-star guards for Toledo. Fed Robinson gets a little bit of space. That attempt there a little bit too strong. Gherkin was a defender, no good. Here comes Donahue here on the fast break. Donahue drives baseline, looking for an option to kick it back out. Inside Ellis, near the right side, right in front of the Rocket bench. Donahue, right wing. Kohler looking feed inside to Ellis. They're off script there. Ellis throws it and gives it right away to Dykstra. Dykstra into Carruthers. Carruthers working on Woods there. Fadeaway. Got to go for the first points of the contest. 2-0 Rockets. A minute played here in the first.
Another silly turnover. The Falcons already getting in their own way.
That's two early turnovers here for the Falcons as Gherkin will get it top of the key. Donahue left wing. Got a screen there from Gherkin. Donahue drives a bit too strong. Rolls around the ring and rebounded from Fed Robinson. Here's Carruthers. Fires it inside. Diala got it. Off glass and in for her first points of the contest. 4-0 Toledo. 8:20 left here in the first quarter. Here's Kaya Woods. Gherkin out to the left wing. Donahue. Donahue, that pass is stolen away. Back the other way. Here comes Anumba. Puts it up too strong. Rebound Fed Robinson. That one no good. Third by the Apples good from Fed Robinson. 6-0 Toledo. And 3 turnovers for the Orange and Brown.
Right there, the missed layup, second chance opportunity as the Falcons didn't hustle back in transition.
And you see Shamil signaling his team to calm down. Gherkin trying to fire this one. Too strong for Ellis. Another turnover for Bowling Green and out of bounds. Fourth turnover in the first 2 minutes of this contest.
Another pass just trying to force it in a window where there isn't any space to catch it.
Here's Kendall Carruthers. Thought about a three there. Anumba gets it back to Fed Robinson. Diala working on Ellis. Puts it up. Highly contested. Once again got an assist there from the glass. 8-0 Toledo. Here's Woods with some speed. Out to Gherkin. Donahue. Bowling Green looking for their first points. Donahue drives. A lot of contact. One a bit short. Diala with the rebound. Donahue fighting for it on the last second. It's Toledo ball.
Right there, second time that Donahue has driven inside, and a little tougher angle from the last layup, but still one that you would hope to make, and she just can't get it to fall.
So a couple changes here, as Diala and Dykstra will head out for Toledo, and coming in as Evelise Cole and Ella Weaver for Bogus. So her first changes of the game with an 8-0 lead here. 3 minutes play here in this first quarter. Here's Weaver, outside right wing. That's a three ball on the way. That one rolls around the rim. That was Anumba. Here comes Kai Woods. Left wing, kicks it out. Donahue drives on top of the key. Bounce pass inside. Kohler. Donahue. Travels. Hesitated there. Almost had a deep two. Another empty possession for Bowling Green. Make that 5 turnovers under 7 minutes to play in the first, and no points to show for it.
And that's Donahue's second, and it's also Gherkin, Ellis, and Woods with turnovers so far. It's a whole part of this starting lineup making mistakes.
And they'll get an offensive foul. And a blocking foul there on Carruthers. So it'll be her first. And that's the first self-inflicted mistake we've seen Toledo make here early in this one.
Donahue took multiple hits to the face when playing defense against Akron as well.
And it looks like we'll have a timeout here on the floor. 8-0 Toledo. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, located 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, serving coffee, craft beer, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See latest menu at juniperbrew.com. 8-0 Toledo is the score here. 6:39 left to play in the first. You're listening to Battle of I-75 here on Falcon Radio.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Back here at Savage Arena for the Battle of I-75 between Bowling Green and Toledo. 8-0 is the score, 6:39 left here in the first quarter. The Rockets capitalizing off a plethora of Bowling Green turnovers. Lucas Clymer, Adam Duffin alongside with you in the call, and I do believe we have a review here to see if it was a possible flagrant foul on Carruthers. But regardless, that was really the first mistake that Toledo has made on the offensive end all night long. It's early in this one.
Yeah, right now, 4 of 8 from the field, nice 50%. They haven't had to really do too much offensively, and Bowling Green has 5 turnovers and only 2 shot attempts. That is not good when you have 3 more turnovers than shots, but still very early, and, had an early media timeout due to the review because Caruthers had it where kind of got Donahue towards the face, maybe with an elbow. So we'll see what the officials say about that.
And Donahue's the only player for Bowling Green that's even attempted a shot in this one. So will be Bowling Green ball. Appears no flagrant. As Donahue will inbound this one to Kyle Woods. Here's Woods. Woods dribbles right wing, hands off to Donahue right in front of the Toledo bench. Bowling Green once again going from right to left on your radio dial. Here's Kohler drives. A lot of contact there with Ayumba. Here's Ellis. Donahue will get a breather. It's called for the screen for Ellis, sets it. Donahue hand off to Woods. Woods drives, off balance, shot there, woefully short, and into the hands of Weaver. Here's Weaver. Caruthers. Weaver again. Caruthers now, top of the key. Weaver gets it back at guard by Donahue. Inside to Cole. Cole over Ellis. Open 3. Anumba thought about it. Now drives inside. Open lane. Layup is good. It's a double-digit lead. It's 10-0 Toledo. Under 6 minutes left here in the first.
Perfect pump fake to have an easy layup down low.
Bowling Green still looking for those first points. Donahue almost lost it initially. Heavily guarded by Fed Robinson, and she just throws it out of bounds. Wow.
Bowling Green just looks completely rattled right now. These are mistakes that happen at times, but not this much in a row.
Janiyah Bland Fitzpatrick's going to be the first change for Shamil in this one. She'll come in for Kaya Woods. And you hit the nail around the head in pregame, Adam. You can't have a slow start in this one, and that's exactly what's happened here. 10-0 Toledo, 5:30 left here in this first quarter. This is taken up here from Dykstra, who hands it up to the right wing from Weaver, guarded by Bland Fitzpatrick, and trying to rifle that one under the basket to Cole. It's a bit too strong. It's off her fingertips. It's Bowling Green ball.
And this is where Bowling Green needs to convert after turnovers. That's how you're going to stay in games when they haven't been able to hit shots from outside.
Kohler drives left. Top of the key, Gherkin, Donahue. Janiyah Bland Fitzpatrick now drives left. Looks for an attempt there, a little bit too strong in that shot. Rebound there is tossed up into the hands there of Caruthers. Caruthers now guard from Bland Fitzpatrick. Caruthers, though, gives him separation. Caruthers into Cole. Weaver. Inside, open underneath the basket. There's Cole. She got some separation from Gherkin. Off glass and in. 12-0 Rockets.
Frustrating thing for Bowling Green is that half to Toledo's points are just wide open layups.
Kohler right wing. Heavily guarded. Gherkin. She'll lock and load a 3. Lauren Gherkin's got it. First points of the game for the Orange and Brown. Deep 3 from Lauren Gherkin. 12-3 Rockets. Here comes Caruthers on Donahue. Caruthers moves, makes a move, and knocked away from Donahue. Big steal in the defensive end. Here comes Donahue. She'll drive and take it herself there. A lot of contact. Tangled up there defensively there with Weaver. They'll get Weaver for the foul, and Donahue will shoot 2.
It's so loud in here that you couldn't hear the whistle on that call as Donahue was going in transition. But good job there. Whether they call it a steal or block, for now they say it's a block by Donahue as Caruthers made a really nice move to get her up in the air, but Donahue still able to keep her hands up.
First one from Donahue is up and good, nothing but net. 12-4 Toledo. And that was a big 3 there from Gherkin just to get the monkey off their back. There's Donahue's second. That one's good as well. So lead down to 7. There's 4:12 left here in this first quarter. 12-5 Toledo. Here's Caruthers guarded from Bland Fitzpatrick. Screen step there from Cole. Caruthers. Diala feeds it inside to Cole over Gherkin. Cole looking to switch it to Weaver. Weaver up! Shot won't go, but she is fouled. I believe they're going to get Bland Fitzpatrick. She came out from behind. Regardless, there a trip to the charity stripe coming up here for Toledo.
The Falcons keep having it where if the ball gets inside the post, the help defense just isn't there. Players are able to easily flash open from across the court, and right there, Weaver just left wide open and had to get hacked on her way up.
Ellis is out now for Bowling Green. Kendall Moxie's coming for the first time this evening as the first one drops there for Weaver.
Ellis definitely a physical player, but Kendall Moxie brings it to another level, hopefully to help on the defensive end.
Weaver 2 for 2 there from the line. And lead up to 9. 14-5 Rockets, under 4 minutes to play before the second quarter. Core to Bland Fitzpatrick. Inside Moxie. Moxie bounced past Donahue, mid-range shot there. Took a couple ricochets on the rim and bounced out.
Perfect shot, a floater from just inside the free throw line and rattles in and out.
Anumba working on Donahue. Anumba drives inside. Weaver. Dykstra. Diala into the corner. Weaver locks and load a 3. Off front iron and got it. Got an assist there from the backboard. It don't matter. It's 17-5 Rockets. Kohler, Bland Fitzpatrick looking for Moxie. And she just wasn't ready. She was wide open in the post. It's out of bounds. It's another Bowling Green turnover. Their 7th.
Moxie, I guess, wasn't expecting that much heat on that pass. And if it was thrown a little lighter, she would have had a wide open layup. Very frustrating there for BG.
Ellis is back into this one, so is Moxie. They're going 2 bigs down low as Kohler looking to hold that one in. Underneath the basket there was Evan Carrier, who's just checked in the game for Toledo. Tried to grab and put that one up, but couldn't do so. It's still a Rocket ball.
Sorry, Weaver was just able to easily drive inside and almost hand it off for an easy layup. Luckily, the Falcons tipped it.
Anumba drives, layup's good. Got a nice screen. 19-5 Toledo. 2:45 left here in the first. Kohler, left wing. Kohler drives and they'll get a foul. It'll be on a Rocket. And it'll be on Anumba. Here, 3rd foul. And it'll be a timeout taken here from head coach Fred Shamia with 2:38 left. They're down by 14. This timeout is sponsored once again by Juniper Brewing Company. You can see the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll stay right here. It's just a quick 30-second timeout. And Adam, I think if you were Bowling Green and you wanted to script this first quarter, I don't think it could have gone any worse.
Yeah, right now, still 7 turnovers, only 6 shot attempts, and it's just been all around sloppy offensively when you try to throw a pass inside over a couple bigs and then you try to just dribble inside and kick it out, and you just have miscommunication and throw the ball into the Rockets bench. It's been very uncharacteristic to make this many mistakes in a row, and I guess the good news is you're only down 14. I feel like it almost could be worse right now with how Toledo's had a couple opportunities not go their way as well.
Donahue inbound this one back in the Moxie. Here's Donahue. Donahue thought about giving it to Kohler, faked it, lost it, and take it away here from Toledo. Here's Fed Robinson. Fed Robinson, Donahue there, just trying to perfectly time that swipe as it gets out to Anumba. Ellis thought she had the clean block. She'll get tagged with her first personal foul.
And again, it just seems like Bowling Green is just slow defensively. It's an open lane until Ellis got the hand up, but she ends up fouling regardless. So it's way too easy right now for the Rockets offensively.
Numba's first one from the line is good. 20-5 Toledo. It's a Bowling Green team that prides themselves on their defense, and they haven't allowed now 21 points in the first quarter. If they go back to early in the season in the non-conference play. Rockets lead up to 16.
And I think 14 points in the paint for Toledo to BG 0 tells the whole story about the physicality.
Here's Woods. Woods looking for an option. Donahue. Donahue setting the offense, calls for a screen, gets it to Ellis. Now she drives right wing, bounce pass into Ellis, mid-range jumper. That one ricochets in and out. Trying to get the rebound there, Kaya Woods. She does, and throws it right to a Rocket. Anumba knocked away there from Donahue. And those saves, Rocket ball. After the swipe hit right at the center circle. Let's say the ball already crossed the center line. And Toledo will take over. It was almost a fantastic steal there from Donahue and almost an easy transition basket.
Fred Shamil's questioning the call a little bit, but it's tough to tell with those when it's right at half court. I think Donahue stole it and kind of just fell backwards, and one of those in-between calls, it would have been a wide open layup for Taya Ellis or Kaya Woods. But instead, it's another turnover.
Candace Dykstra goes left wing. Open here, that shot there, a little bit too strong for Fed Robinson. And getting the rebound was Evan Carrier, who put it up, got through the contact, but she's fouled. And Carrier will go to the free throw line.
Right there, Carrier just left open to get the offensive rebound. There wasn't anyone boxing her out. Janea Donahue tried to get there, but it was too late, and ends up being a pile of BG defenders fouling.
Bland Fitzpatrick's back in. Ellis has gone out. It's Bland Fitzpatrick, Kohler, Donahue, Gherkin, and Woods on the floor for Bowling Green. The Rockets, it's almost an entirely different starting players on the floor from their starting five, as the first one goes there for Carrier. You look at the depth of this Toledo bench. Already 9 players have seen action on the floor. Second one's up and good as well. 23-5 with 1:42 left here in the first quarter here at Savage Arena.
Bowling Green needs to get Paige Kohler going. She hasn't attempted a shot yet.
I was just about to bring that up. It's a good point. It's Kohler here, right wing. Gherkin, top of the key. Donahue gets to the Kohler. Here's that first shot for 3 for Kohler. It's off the mark. And I think she thought it was tipped. I think that's what Shamil's arguing. Instead, they're saying it's out of bounds for Rocket basketball.
That's always a tough call to make, but I doubt she would have been short from just beyond the line.
There's Fed Robinson, Carruthers. Inside, Gherkin gets the tip. Stolen away here from Woods off the tip from Gherkin. Woods with some speed. Kaya Woods drives, puts it up there. Not close. And Toledo comes back the other way. Carruthers. Inside, ooh, and that was off the mark there. And right, turnover there for Toledo.
And right there, another moment where Bowling Green, they get a steal off of Gherkin's tipped pass, and then Kaya Woods just went too fast in transition and ends up making the mistake of just throwing up a shot.
Woods has come back out. Kira Miller has checked in for the first time this game. Kohler backdoor pass to Donahue, trying to go up and in, and couldn't do so. She is fouled, though, and go to the free throw line.
Very good backdoor cut by Donahue, getting herself open. If not for the foul, it would have been a pretty easy reverse layup.
Donahue already had one trip to the free throw line. She was 2 for 2 early in this quarter. That one's off front iron and got it to go. So now half of Bowling Green's points have come from the free throw line. They just have 6. Here comes Donahue's second attempt. Again, off front iron, but off glass and in. And just miscommunication there with Fed Robinson. And it goes out of bounds, and it'll be Bowling Green ball. So that was a very uncharacteristic turnover. She just wasn't ready for the ball there off that inbound.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. It looked like it maybe hit off her forearm or maybe directly off her hands, and just the ball popped right off and out of bounds. So Bowling Green is gifted another possession.
Bland Fitzpatrick, Miller, Gherkin. Gherkin drives off to Donahue. Donahue open the basket. She's got it. Big basket there from Donahue, 23-9. Bowling Green trying to get to double figures before this quarter comes to a close. We have 27 seconds left remaining. About 3 seconds separate shot clock and game clock. Bland Fitzpatrick guarding Carruthers. Here's Carruthers. She was driving left side. And they'll get a foul here on Bowling Green. We'll see who. It'll be on Bland Fitzpatrick. Here fourth, as she'll come out. Now Emily Cecil will come in. Now shot clock is off.
Bowling Green already in a bit of foul trouble as Bland Fitzpatrick and Tay Ellis both have 2 apiece.
Weaver looking for an inbound and just a bit too far out of the reach there for Faith Fed Robinson. So Bowling Green now has a chance to get the last shot heading into the second. Maybe get some momentum going. Here's Kohler with 12 left on the clock. Kohler passes out left wing, Donahue in the left corner, Gherkin. 6 on the clock now. Kohler, still Kohler. She'll drive, a lot of contact, no good. And that's how his first one's gonna come to a close. It's been all Toledo, all yellow and blue here in the first quarter at Savage Arena. The Rockets up 23-9 over your Bowling Green Falcons. Take a quick step aside, and we'll come back here for second quarter action. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 right here on Falcon Radio.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Mom was always very organized. But my sister and I noticed she started to forget things.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
But Mom's early detection gave us time to make a plan.
My sister and I were there for Mom and each other.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Back here at Savage Arena, ready to begin the second quarter action between the Toledo Rockets and the Bowling Green Falcons. 23-9 is the score. It's been all Toledo in those first 10 minutes, Adam, and you would think with the way that quarter ended, it was a little bit positive for Bowling Green's side, but they're lucky not to be down by more.
Yeah, right now they have 9 points and 9 turnovers. That is never a recipe for success. And 2 of 11 from the field, as they've been forcing up some tough shots. There's been some of those that have been pretty close, but as well, there's been out of control, fading towards your weak hand. It's not a recipe for success. And they're ultimately lucky to only be down 14 right now, as Toledo has also made mistakes, 7 turnovers of their own. And they are shooting a good 57% from the field as well. So Bowling Green really needs to just make sure they're getting quality shot attempts and try to force Toledo to not be open inside, as Toledo has been able to do whatever they want offensively.
2 for 11 shooting for Bowling Green. That's not a recipe for success. 8 for 14 for Toledo. And shooting's been a constant issue for this team all year long if you're Bowling Green, but we talked about it. You can't get off to a slow start, and boy, did they. But now you got to put it behind you, and they got 3 more quarters of basketball to try to come back and make this one a close one. Bowling Green once again going from right to left on your radio dial. Toledo going from left to right. Miller, Kohler, Gherkin, Donahue, and Cecil on the floor for BG. You have Cole, Anuba, Carruthers, Diala, and Fed Robinson. So the same starting 5 that started this one for Toledo. Anuba, that's an open 3 from the top of the key. Just a bit off to the right. Donahue trying to get the rebounds in the Cole. Carruthers right side. Guard from Cecil. Cecil some good defense. They'll kick it back out. Anuba again. Anuba gets by Kohler, dribbles by Gherkin, and she swats that one away out of bounds.
Good block there by Lauren Gherkin. However, second chance opportunity as Cole got that rebound over Donahue. Cole, much taller in that matchup at 6'2".
Inbound this one. Fed Robinson wasn't ready. That's another time she wasn't been ready. Miller to Kohler. She'll launch this one out. Gherkin locking lows a three. Off front iron. So empty start here this second quarter. 9:15 left here in the second. Still 23-9 Toledo. The Rockets and the Cole. Right by the charity stripe. Carruthers. Anumba. Anumba top of the key. Screen set there from Diala. Cole. Fed Robinson now left wing. 5 on the shot clock. Fed Robinson drives a lot of contact. No good. Diala gets the rebound. 3 Falcons. Puts up a woeful shot attempt. No good. Cecil gets it back. Here comes Bowling Green. Donahue on the fast break. The 2v2. They can hurry. Donahue up and in. Donahue now has got 8 points for Bowling Green. 23-11. Bowling Green cuts the lead down to 12. Here's Cole, top of the key. Launches it. Anumba. Right here from Cecil. Trying to put this one down low into Diala. It's stolen away here from Gherkin. Gherkin into Donahue. Back out to Gherkin. She'll try a 3. Lauren Gherkin. Too strong off the mark. Donahue trying to punch that one in behind there from Cole. But she's going to get talked there with her first personal foul.
Throughout that stretch there for BG, a good job forcing a couple turnovers in a row as now they're starting to help seal off the inside and not let it be so easy in the paint for the Rockets.
There's Carruthers right wing. Cole switches it to the left. Handoff here, Anumba. Carruthers again. Diala. Shot clock again winding down for Toledo. Down to 5. Anumba. Pumps it. Down to 2. Robinson. Cole as the shot clock expires. That one off the mark. No good. Kohler hits the deck. No foul called. Carruthers open 3. That one again's off the mark and rebound in the Miller. Toledo's gone cold shooting here. Here comes Kira Miller. Miller just stumbles over her own feet. And off to Cecil. Cecil out to Donahue. Kohler. Dribbles right wing. Donahue top of the key. Driving on Carruthers. Kohler. That's a 3 from the right wing from Kohler. And she's got it. Her first points of the game. And oh boy, did the Bowling Green need that. The lead is cut down to single digits. 23-14. Timeout taken Toledo.
As right there, that was incredible job by Bowling Green on that end to, continue to move the ball and not force a shot early in the shot clock. Leads to getting Kohler wide open in the corner. And the reality is, Paige Kohler, you can't afford to have her only have single-digit points in this game. She needs to be a standout player, and there gets her first basket, gets some momentum going. And really, Toledo has fallen apart offensively now. They haven't really been able to get the ball inside. A couple turnovers, and there they were able to get some offensive rebounds and missed multiple threes in a row. So Bowling Green only down 9 with how that start went. This game is far from over.
Indeed it is. Timeout once again here taken. Sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can see the latest menu by visiting juniperbrew.com. We'll take it with them. Bowling Green cutting down in the lead of Toledo 23-14. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 here on Falcon Radio.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Follow and engage with BG Falcon Media on social media. Find the handle @BG Falcon Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for all sorts of content, including news information, BGSU athletics coverage, and feature stories from across campus. Enjoy specialty content such as full episodes of the local music showcase, Live and Loud, The coverage continues with BG Falcon Media on all major social platforms.
So back here after this timeout taken from the Rockets, Bowling Green finding some momentum. The Rockets have gone cold shooting here. 23 of 14 is your score. Toledo over Bowling Green in the first leg of the Battle of I-75. The season Lucas Clymer, Adam Duffin alongside with you. And Donahue leads the team with 8 points. Kohler finally though hit her first basket of the game, that big three there in the right corner.
And right now, Bowling Green, they got to figure out to, Donahue has the 8 points. Gherkin and Kohler have each had 3, but no one else has scored. Meanwhile, Toledo, they've had 7 different players score so far in this one. You got to get more people involved. If you rely too much on someone, it's eventually just not going to go their way offensively. So, however, Bowling Green, they cut it down to 9 here in the early going of the second quarter. If they can get it down to even close before halftime or even get a lead, it bodes well for them in the second half.
Back out this timeout. This will be taken up from Kendall Carruthers. Guarded here by Donahue. Carruthers feed this one inside, fed Robinson, and they're going to get a whistle. They'll get Emily Cecil for her first personal foul there as Rocket went back door to receive the pass.
It was a nice effort there by Emily Cecil to try to get in that passing lane. However, she was too late, and at that point, you just got to back off. You can't reach in.
This one inside. Here, Carruthers. Carruthers got an open look there. That one goes in and out. Held in there from Gherkin. Bowling though, trying to capitalize off this cold shooting that Toledo's been on. Kohler. Kohler cuts and drives. Out to Woods. Kai Woods. Out to Kohler. Thought about a 3. Woods. Donahue. Gherkin. And off Kohler. She'll set her feet for a 3. Off front iron, no good. Rebound here from Donahue. Donahue looking inside. Gherkin open 3 from the right wing. Gherkin, that one off the mark. Well, that's 2 good looks there for Bowling Green open. Just couldn't knock it down. Anumba comes away with it.
That felt very much like a missed opportunity with that whole possession.
Here's faith-fed Robinson trying to drive there, and they'll get a foul off the ball for the Rockets. That'll be on Diala. So still 23-14 Toledo with 6:15 left in the second. Here's Woods. Woods kicks out to the right wing to Kohler. Cecil, that one's tipped and stolen away. Fed Robinson got her hand up there. Fed Robinson trying to go unselfish there to get that one to Cole. It's knocked away from a trailing Donahue.
And right there, after Toledo with the illegal screen or off-ball foul, whatever it was, Bowling Green turnover right back, just missing another opportunity.
Here's Weaver. That one's stolen away, taken away from Donahue. Donahue out to Cecil. Gherkin. She'll try a 3. Gherkin's got it. Another 3 from Gherkin. Her second one in the game. She's up by 6. It cuts the lead down to 6. 23-17, Rockets lead. They feed inside to Weaver. Fed Robinson. Mid-range 2. That's blocked from Gherkin. Well, she hit a 3 and came up with a big defensive play. Out to Kohler here in the right wing. Kohler. Cecil. She'll try 3 of her own. Cecil got it. Big 3 from Cecil. The lead's cut down than just 3. What a second quarter it's been for Bowling Green. 23-20 Rockets. We're almost to the media timeout here with 5:10 left here in the second. Woods guarded Carruthers. Cole feeds in the Carruthers. Underneath the basket. Tied up there with Donahue. Jump ball arrow. Oh, favor Bowling Green. Defensive stop there from Donahue.
It's been an incredible shift in momentum here in this second quarter, and Lauren Gherkin has been a big part of it. 2 steals, 2 blocks, just cutting off these passing lanes, and same thing with Janea Donahue and her 2 steals and a block.
Momentum on Bowling Green side. Cecil, Donahue top of the key. Out to the left wing, Lauren Gherkin. Here's Gherkin. Donahue. Donahue center circle. Now she's going to drive with her left. Donahue takes herself, drives inside. She's fouled there from Fed Robinson. She should go to the line to shoot 2. She's already 4 from 4 from the charity stripe so far tonight.
And Bowling Green has had a habit this season where it's been a bad start. It really hasn't turned around until the second half. But tonight, they've done it here in the second quarter where they've cut it down to 2 after Donahue makes the first.
First one there is good fair from Donahue. It's down to a 2-point lead. Here comes Donahue's second attempt. Is now 13-0 in this second quarter as the Rockets still haven't found their first basket this quarter. What a run it's been for the Orange and Brown. 23-22, the Rockets lead down to just 1. Still trying to get their first basket of the quarter. Weaver, double team here. Here's Cole. Inside Carruthers. Carruthers drives baseline, kicks it out there. Stolen away. Donahue and into the hands of Gherkin. Another defensive stop for Bowling Green. Donahue, Cecil. Hands off to Kohler. Bowling Green can take the lead here. They can convert on this possession. Gherkin left wing. Still on this left side, Cecil. Out top of the key, Donahue. Now she drives to the left. Outside, Cecil. Step back 3 for Cecil. Front iron, no good. Rebound here from Weaver. Now Dykstra will ring this one up for the Rockets. Dykstra handoff here. That's off of the shoulder there of Cecil as Carruthers was trying to find an open lane, couldn't do so. As Moxie's going to come in here for Gherkin, and she'll get a breather.
Bowling Green's made the adjustment where they are fully pressuring on the outside. It doesn't matter if the ball handler is a couple feet beyond the three-point line, and it's worked out well as Toledo is at 13 turnovers to Bowling Green's 10. Bowling Green has completely shifted how the play style of the game is going.
Completely 180 from the first and second quarter. Toledo still looking for that first basket. They could get it here. A long three on the way. Got it. Drained there from Ella Weaver. That's her second 3 of the game. And now she has a team high 8 points. 26-22. Rockets lead by 4. Here's Kohler. Drives. Got open. Kohler got it in. Through the contact there. Like a hot knife through butter. Kohler went through the defense. 26-24. 13-12 left here before halftime at Savage Arena. Dykstra. And the Carrier. Carrier guarded by Moxie. Outside Weaver. That's another 3. Weaver ricochets in and in. They got the fall. It almost went out. That's back-to-back 3s from Weaver. 29-24. Rockets up by 5. Cecil to Woods. Woods drives. Out of contact. A bit short. And picked up here from Weaver. Dykstra, we'll see if they can find the hot hand. Cole. Anumba. To Weaver. Dykstra again left wing right in front of the Bowling Green bench there. They'll get an offensive foul, an illegal screen there from Carrier.
Very important to get that stoppage as Bowling Green was losing momentum there. And once again, Kaya Woods just pushed it too fast in transition. There's no need to shoot over 2 taller defenders. Woods only 5'3" and just threw up a shot with her weak hand. It's not needed, but Bowling Green can now settle it down.
Here's Gherkin out of this timeout, drives inside, hand off to Cecil in the right corner. Donahue on top of the key. Thought about a mid-range jumper, couldn't do so. Donahue gets it right back though and throws up a full attempt. And that one's going to go to Carrier. And I think Bowling Green upset that it wasn't a foul called.
It looked like an awkward shot. She lost possession and just threw it over her head, hoping for a foul call.
Under 2 minutes to play here. Dykstra getting by Cecil, putting it up. She traveled, so waved the basket off. Minute 53 left, and if you could script a second quarter if you're Bowling Green, this is as pretty good as you'd hope. It's back to a ball game, only down by 5. Under a minute 50 left here before halftime. 29-24 is the score in favor of the Rockets. Gherkin. Gherkin left wing, Donahue. Donahue drives, kicks it out to Gherkin. Gherkin top of the key to Donahue again, now this time to the right side. Donahue drives, travel. And just a split, lack of concentration there. And another turn for Bowling Green.
whenever she does those pump fakes from the three-point line, Donahue does have a tendency to slightly move that foot, and they're going to call that. They have to at times. Coaches are not happy if you miss a travel call. So right there, just a mistake on what could be a good possession with only a minute 30 to go.
Here's Carruthers. Finds Carrier inside. Carrier. Anumba. And now Carruthers again. Carruthers working on Kohler. Another travel call. Third straight possession of a travel for both teams, and this time at Carruthers. That's a combined now 27 turnovers between the two teams. 16-11. Rockets have committed more turnovers. 29-24. A minute 10 left. Kohler drives to the left. Kohler puts a shot up there. Highly contested. Got it to go. No whistle called. It's down to a 3-point lead for Toledo. On a minute to play. Anumba. Weaver to Dykstra, top of the key guard from Woods. Dykstra handoff here to Carruthers. She'll get it back, Carruthers. Switches it to the right wing here. Anumba. And let's say his last off of Kohler. It'll be still a Rocket ball with 11 on the shot clock and 42 seconds left. Anumba and Carruthers. That one swatted in the air there by Cecil there. It's going to be Bowling Green ball off an incredible defensive play there for Emily Cecil to knock that ball out.
In rivalry games, there's always players that have to step up. And so far tonight, Emily Cecil, she does only have 3 points, but she hit a big three during the rally at the start of this quarter. She's forced to steal, and right there, it's not a steal, but she got fouled and caused a turnover.
Here's Kohler. Gherkin will set her feet for a three. That one off front iron, off the backboard, no good. Shot clock is off. 25 seconds left and counting. Toledo can run this all the way down if they want to. It was an early shot taken there from Gherkin and the Falcons. Woods guarding Carruthers. Here's Anumba. Hand off and back to Carruthers. She'll kick it out. That's a deep three from Weaver. Off front iron, no good. And a big rebound. Perfect place there from Carrier as this one expires. And that's how the Rockets will end this first half. Bowling Green down by 5 here in the Battle of I-75. 31-26. The Rockets lead. Kevin Hutchinson and Carter Leonard will have the halftime report. And when we come back, we'll begin third quarter action here on Falcon Radio. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Radio. It's super cool.
Alrighty then.
Falcon Radio. 4 Falcons, 5 Falcons. Telephone number is 419-372-9325.
Let's get this party started. How you feeling?
Falcon Radio is streaming live on bgfalconmedia.com.
Okay, what do you say? Let's give it a try.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm Kevin Hutchinson, joined once again here in the studio by Carter Leonard for your halftime report. Current score is 31 for the Rockets, 26 for the Falcons. And Carter, this was a tale of two quarters.
Yeah, to say the least, Kevin. But if we're going to talk about the tale of two quarters, we got to start off with, of course, quarter number one, especially for Bowling Green. Not the start that you wanted to get out to at the first. Down at one point, 23-9. And so far, Bowling Green with 11 turnovers in the first half, but there was just 9 alone in the first quarter. But the good news is they were able to storm back, still only down by 5, but Bowling Green in the second quarter, I mean, just looked like a completely different team. We saw the emergence of Paige Kohler and Jonea Donahue. So far, Donahue the only Falcon in double digits so far, but Paige Kohler and the rest of the game have really started to get going as well.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely the comeback here, you know, as we mentioned, the Falcons were down 18 points. At one point, they were down 23-5, found a way to go on a 13-0 run, 13 unanswered points in the second quarter, and then both teams traded a couple points before the half to get us to our current score. 3 steals for Jonea Donahue. She went 6 for 6 on free throw attempts. a big force in helping the Falcons get back in this game. So really, I mean, basketball is a game of runs. We mentioned that a lot, and we've definitely seen that here. But, Carter, what were you most pleased with when it came to that comeback in the second quarter?
I think it's just really Bowling Green just keeping themselves composed. And I think, Fred Schmiel, although we're in the studio, I'm willing to, bet that in between the break between the first and second quarter, he told his team, hey, listen, I know it's not the start that we've gotten out to, and I know we could have asked for a better one, but still a lot of basketball left to be played here. Don't panic, just control what you can control and get some momentum building back, and, we'll be fine. And, as we mentioned, Bowling Green's still down by 5 at this halftime break, but, as you mentioned earlier, Kevin, it's been a tale of two quarters, and even Lucas mentioned it on the broadcast, a complete 180, if you want a better saying at it. But I think, if you go to the Toledo side sort of things, a name that we talked about a couple times in the pregame show was definitely Ella Weaver for the Rockets. Being that bench player, for Toledo, she currently leads the team now with 11 points, 3 for 4 from the field, and also perfect at the free throw line and just 2 attempts. So she's been the biggest threat for Toledo early. But I think if Bowling Green definitely wants to keep themselves in this game, you have to really minimize the turnovers. And while they only committed 2 during the second quarter, it's going to have to stay that way throughout the rest of the game, because you definitely don't want to repeat like what you had in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was definitely a messy start, and you got to give the team credit for coming out of the quarter break and really turning things around. I mean, that's what's interesting, with the women's college game as opposed to the men's. You get those quarters, 4 quarters as opposed to 2 halves. Sort of gives you the opportunity to change momentum. Kaya Woods. She missed a couple shots here. She's 0 for 3 shooting so far. But I think in the second half, you still give her opportunities to score because she can be a dangerous scorer. She just had a bit of a rocky start. Lauren Gherkin went 2 for 6 from 3, but 6 points for her. That's also helped the Falcons get back in the game. She also had 2 blocks. She leads the team in blocks, or she led the team in blocks going into this game. So I think using her on both ends of the floor is definitely going to be crucial here.
And you mentioned Kaya Woods as well. Going into this, she was coming off a game where she had 10 rebounds and a couple of steals against Akron. So not only does she need to get a little bit more going in the score, and rebounds and playing hard defense is definitely something that she could try to step up with in the second half. And I think that's going to be one of the keys for Bowling Green moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. We will look more into that in a little bit. We're going to do a brief break here. And then after that, we are going to talk about our player of the game watch, making predictions for who might be the player of the game. And we are going to preview the second half and just talk about what we're expecting for these last 2 quarters of play. I'm Kevin Hutchinson with Carter Leonard. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, we are back. Kevin Hutchinson and Carter Leonard here. We're going to be going into just our player of the game predictions. Obviously, this is going to depend on the result, but I think we could give a player of the game for either team, allowing for either possibility of Bowling Green winning or Toledo winning. My pick would be, if Bowling Green does end up winning, my player of the game pick would actually be Lauren Gherkin. She has been responsible for 6 turnovers, but she does also have 2 blocks and 2 steals. So if she can clean up those turnovers, she also has 2 3-pointers. I just think her size advantage and her versatility puts her in a good spot. I think if Toledo wins, I think you're actually going to be looking at Ella Weaver, even though she came off the bench, leads the team with 11 points and definitely a dangerous shooter.
Yeah, if I'm going to go with anyone from Bowling Green here, and quick correction, Kevin, it was Jonea Donahue who had the 6 turnovers there.
My mistake, my mistake.
You're okay. But I definitely want to, shout out Jonea Donahue, too. Currently leads the team, the only Falcon in double digits right now. But I do believe that her shooting from the field has to get a little bit better. She's only 2 for 6 from the field, and majority of her points have come from the free throw line. But, of course, those points have really paid a big contributing factor into, Bowling Green making this comeback to only be down by 5 compared to where they were at way earlier in the game. And also for Toledo, I really have to agree with you on the Ella Weaver, topic as well. I think she's done a really good job for the Rockets, and if she, keeps it up, she could definitely be, in that conversation as well. And you already hit on the points there as well.
For sure. Now we're going to go away for 30 more seconds here, but when we come back, we will preview the second half, talk about some of our takeaways, and then we will send it back to Lucas and Adam. You're listening to Falcon Radio. Don't go anywhere.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ed Council.
All right, we are back with our second half preview. Carter, do you want to take us through what your prediction is for this second half?
I definitely think you're going to see a little bit of, sort of the same pattern as we saw at the end of the second half. I think Bowling Green has definitely got Toledo right where they want them right now. Of course, only still being down, but you're starting to build back up. In between the first and second quarter, it was a 17-point difference. In addition to points for the Falcons, as Toledo only scored 8 the entire second quarter. So I think if you just keep Toledo not necessarily on their toes, so to speak, but if you keep playing aggressive, you keep playing hard defense, and you keep, that momentum rolling, I think Bowling Green could definitely make this a lot closer and possibly steal this win away if Toledo's not careful.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good point. I think my thought in terms of what we might see from the second half, I think from Bowling Green, you are going to see more three-point shooting. We talked about going into this game. BG has been solid with three-pointers throughout the year. I think that's going to increase in terms of the shot selection there, especially because Toledo actually allows the least rebounds of any team in the MAC. So shooting from beyond the arc makes sense because you're not going to get as many of those second chance buckets under the basket there. I think my prediction for Toledo, I just think they're going to play up-tempo, play with some aggressiveness. I think they were surprised by the surge that BG had in the second quarter, and so they're going to sort of go up-tempo and try to stymie that, try to sort of have a surge of their own moving forward here. But those are our thoughts going into this second half. We're going to give you another quick break here, and then we're going to send it directly back to Lucas and Adam up at Savage Arena. Thank you for listening to Falcon Radio, and we will enter the second half in a few minutes.
Imagine home. The smell of coffee, the sound of a lawnmower, the sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself, surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Under 5 minutes to go here at Savage Arena before we begin third quarter action between Bowling Green and Toledo. 31-26 is your score. The Rockets up by 5. Lucas Clymer, Adam Duffin on the call with you, and I think it was definitely a tale of two quarters like Carter and Kevin were talking about there at halftime. Bowling Green first quarter there, almost unrecognizable to start, and in the second quarter they score 13 straight, and you look up and you're only down by 5 once you begin the third.
Yeah, Bowling Green, remarkable job to come back from that slow start. And you can even make the case things exactly haven't gone their way. There's been a couple unlucky bounces, more favorable for Toledo. And overall, it's an outstanding effort defensively. Now, they allowed 31 in the first half, but only 8 in the second quarter as Bowling Green was able to fly around defensively. Lauren Gherkin, 2 steals, 2 blocks already. Nate Donahue has 3 steals. Add in a couple other with 8 overall as a team. It's been impressive to see the defensive intensity continue to ramp up throughout the game, and they've made Toledo look uncomfortable in that second quarter.
They did, and you have Donahue leading the way with a team-high 10 points. You have Weaver with 11 with the game high. She had 3 3-pointers in that first half, 2 back-to-back when Toledo was in that rut where they didn't score a basket for over 6 minutes. But other than that, the scoring's been mostly spurts for Toledo. But on the other side for Bowling Green, just 4 players have found the basket.
Yeah, Bowling Green, I said you don't want to rely too much on your certain players. It's Donahue with 10, Gherkin with 6, Paige Kohler with 7, and then Emily Cecil added in a 3 during that rally of the 13-0 run. So Bowling Green's got to find a way. You can't just only have 3 points off your bench and win a game. That's not going to happen too often, as so far Toledo's had 17 points off their bench, 11 of those being from Weaver and her 3-point ability, as she did lead them last game as well. She had 18 points off the bench. She made 3 games in that matchup as well. So Bowling Green, they got to find a way to get other players going, and I think Taya Ellis, only 7 minutes of action. She picked up 2 fouls early. She wasn't able to get open inside. Same thing with Kendall Moxie in her couple minutes of play. So Bowling Green, they can't just rely on the outside shot. It's not something they've been able to do all season, and they need to get someone going inside down low.
They do. Just 32% shooting for Bowling Green, 4 from 11 from beyond the arc. They're perfect from the free throw line. 11 turnovers to Toledo 17, like you mentioned, Adam. A lot of those came in the first quarter, and then Bowling Green only had a couple, and then they made Toledo have all those unforced turnovers and they get into easy transition baskets. So, Adam, if you're head coach Fred Shamil, what is the message you give to that team at halftime? What are some adjustments you make? What are some maybe little wrinkles you like to do heading into this third quarter, only down by 5, but knowing that Toledo can get hot at any moment and go on a run?
Yeah, Bowling Green, I think they need to understand that they aren't going to work with a half-court offense that just, slow the ball down and set up plays. They have to play fast, but they also have to play clean basketball and not turn it over. That's a difficult thing to mix together, but that is what led to them getting that 13-0 run. And defensively as well, they have to continue to seal off the offensive players. Don't let them get the ball inside. When Toledo hasn't had the ball inside, they haven't really done much from beyond the arc. Their only 3-pointers are from Weaver, all 3 of their 3-pointers, and the rest of the team being 0 for 4. And they need to continue just hounding them beyond the 3-point line. When they've forced the Toledo ball handlers to have to dribble on the perimeter, it's led to a lot of turnovers, as Caruthers has 5 turnovers already today because she's been just nonstop pressured by Donahue and Emily Cecil.
Indeed, they haven't. Well, we're going to stay right here, actually. We have just about 30 seconds before the start of the third quarter, so no need for another break here before we begin the second half. And I think if you realize, Adam, a lot of the possessions for Toledo was Caruthers and Fed Robinson really being the 2 main ball handlers for this team. And if you kind of crowd them or make them make a bad decision, there really isn't anyone else kind of help out, at least on that front.
And a big part of it, too, is Fed Robinson struggled last game. She only had 5 points on 2 of 8 shooting, 4 turnovers in that one. She hasn't turned the ball over today, but she's shooting 1 for 6 with only 2 points. So Fed Robinson has struggled. Caruthers also 5 turnovers, only 2 points. So they've helped limit the top 2 scorers on this squad, but Ella Weaver has been getting it going. She's making a case to get more playing time in this final stretch of the season.
Taya Ellis is back for Bowling Green to begin this third quarter. Donahue, Gherkin, Woods, and Kohler. As we have the third quarter action underway here at Savage Arena, Toledo will be going from right to left on your radio dial as the two teams switch sides. Bowling Green will be going from left to right. They'll blow whistle and they'll restart the quarter.
Trying to adjust things from halftime as someone's in a chicken outfit.
There was a live chicken on the floor, so they had to give it half a second. Toledo will start with the ball. Anumba, top of the key, driving inside on Woods and Gherkin, and a travel called. And a good defensive start there for Bowling Green.
It's been an issue all night for Toledo players, just slightly sliding that pivot foot when they make a hard stop.
Here's Donahue, top of the key, bounce pass inside, kick ball, right to Fed Robinson. So they'll inbound it. Donahue inbounds to Kohler. So here comes Bowling Green's first offensive spell of the second half. Ellis, handoff here to Donahue. Donahue drives that one a little bit too strong. It was very high arcing, but it got the drop regardless. 31-28. Bowling Green down by 3. Here's Carruthers, handoff here. Anumba. Carruthers fires one inside. Diala turns, fires a bit off to the left. Or Donahue, Kohler, they're tripped as she goes down the court. Donahue drives, open again. Oh, the bunny shot there and just couldn't get that one to fall. There's Carruthers, top of the key. Works the way outside, Cole fires inside, Diala spins, looks, open three there in the corner is Carruthers. That one off the mark, rebound there from Donahue. Man, since the first quarter, Toledo has not been able to hit at all from beyond the arc or just get any sort of consistently offensively.
And right there, they used Carruthers, but she's only a 30% shooter from beyond the arc.
There's Kohler, right wing, Woods. Gherkin in the right corner. 6 on the shot clock. In the post, Ellis drives through the contact. Ellis, a bit too much there, no good. And rebound there from Diala. Here's Carruthers. Carruthers drives, got past Donahue. Donahue got a hand right there. It's out of bounds, still be Toledo ball.
Another reason why Donahue's so talented, when she does get beat off the dribble, she's able to use her hands without fouling from behind and just poke the ball out.
Moxie will come in for Ellis. We have 8 minutes to play here in the third quarter, 31-28 Toledo. Carruthers open, Anumba 3, in and out. Moxie fighting for the rebound there, couldn't hold it in. Here's Carruthers. Fed Robinson, Carruthers to the right wing. Anumba again. Anumba driving inside, turns. Carruthers, step back, that's a deep 2, got it. A deep 2 there for Carruthers, and I believe they might get Moxie here for a foul. And indeed they will. So Moxie in a kind of a tussle battle there outside of the rim. So the foul will stand. Lead back up to 5 here for the Rockets, 33-28. And Diala will come out quickly. And coming back in is Evan Carrier.
That last possession, Moxie tried to grab the rebound with one hand, and it just went out and gave Toledo the second chance opportunity.
Gherkin hands off to Kohler. Kohler drives baseline, spins out. Here's Donahue. Donahue to Gherkin. Gherkin, open 3 for her. That one just a bit too strong, and she got the shot she wanted. But couldn't convert. Carruthers. Fed Robinson. She'll drive. Pump fakes. Off glass. A little bit too short. Into the hands of Kohler now. Here comes Kohler. Outside Donahue, left wing. Donahue, Gherkin. Donahue will set the offense here for Bowling Green. And guarded here for her was Weaver. Outside Gherkin, another three for her. That one off the back of no good. Donahue just causing some chaos to get the ball into Kohler. Kohler inside of Moxie. Moxie drives and travels. So wave the basket off. And it's really unfortunate because that play really stayed alive because of the hustle there from Donahue.
Yeah, Donahue was able to keep it alive, and Kendall Moxie had the ball underneath. She didn't even need to dribble right there. She just needed to turn and shoot it, as Kendall Carruthers is only 5'7" and was guarding her. Moxie about 6'3". Just a silly mistake there.
And again, Kohler's hit the floor a couple times off the ball, and again she does, and she'll get the foul call this time. It'll be on Faith Fed Robinson.
Definitely a point of emphasis for teams to be more physical with Kohler and try to wear her out and not let her get in her rhythm.
Woods up to Gherkin, looking for Donahue. Here's Kohler. Kohler, 5 out of 3. Donahue again. Donahue drives. Donahue open to the back, and Donahue, and no good there, just a bit short. Rebound there from Anumba. Shamil one, a foul not called. Carruthers a 3. Air ball. And out of bounds. So 33-28 Toledo. 6 minutes left here in the third.
Carruthers was able to get the space that she wanted, but she's not the type of three-point shooter you want to take those step-back threes. And, you know, after Bowling Green had a mistake offensively, Toledo does it right back.
Kai Woods and the Kohler. Gherkin, left wing Donahue. Woods, Gherkin again, here's Woods. Woods will drive inside, and that one a bit short there. She got the contact. And that had been the game offensively for Kai Woods, no points. She had the game had 10 rebounds against her former team in Akron on Wednesday. And she has a chance to go to the free throw line and get her first couple points of the game.
Yeah, she was definitely not a player you expected to have a 10-rebound double-double on Wednesday.
First point for number one, make it 33-29. Bowling Green again can cut it down to 3 here with this free throw. And she does, 33-30. And what we thought was going to be a Toledo offensive explosion has turned into a close defensive affair. Carruthers. Anumba drives by a couple of Falcons there. Whistle calls. She was kind of like playing hopscotch throughout a couple of Falcons. And I believe they got Kyle Woods. Actually be on Donahue for her second personal foul. First one from Anumba's good.
An interesting thing with this Toledo team is that they're shooting about 70% from the line, but not a single one of their players is above the 80% mark.
Anumba again converts, 2 for 2, 35-30 Toledo, 5:25 left. We are almost at our third quarter media timeout. Here's Kohler, here's Taya Ellis. Here's Kohler. Donahue. Woods. Woods will drive, spins. Woods gets some separation. Couldn't get that one to fall. That was an easy opportunity there, as Ellis there was trying to go over the top to get that one. Should call for the foul.
And there, Kaya Woods had her best look of the night, just couldn't get it to fall, and then Tay Ellis hustled for the rebound, but now she gets into even more foul trouble, as that's her third foul of the game.
So a third foul from Ellis, and speaking of nights where it hasn't been hers at all. It's just 0 points for her. As Carruthers comes back the other way. Carrier. Deep two on the way there. Anumba, no good. Rebound there from Woods. She got airborne to get that one. Here's Woods. Outside Kohler. That's a three for Kohler, and she's got it. It's within two. Oh, wow. And we'll see. Kohler maybe stepped out of bounds.
No, I believe that was called a technical foul. I know we're up higher this game, but I'm seeing Paige Kohler say I didn't say anything, as maybe the official thought he heard something.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. That's a good eye at him. Might have been for something she said maybe after the three. So a technical foul from Kohler. And free throws on the way here from Anumba, and the first one's good. And you saw the coaching staff there for Bowling kind of laughing as they're not really sure what to make of it. Obviously, we're far up here at Savage Arena, so had to be something she said, as the second one there from Anumba is not good. So 36-35, 36-33, regardless. As we've now reached our media timeout here in the third quarter. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brew Company, located 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, serving coffee, craft beer, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See this menu at juniperbrew.com. 36-35 with 4:35 left here in the third quarter. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Yo, would somebody mind telling me what the hell's going on here?
Fuck those other radio stations. Listen to Falcon Radio on bgfalconmedia.com.
I knew this was the right thing to do. Touché. Oh my God, it's better than I thought.
Falcon Radio is a student-operated radio.
It's cool, man.
Telephone number is 419-372-9325.
You guys gotta chip in for the gas. Hey, man, I put in 59 cents in 2 days ago, man. We couldn't be out of gas, man.
Back here at Savage Arena, 36-35. Rockets up by 3 over your Bowling Green Falcons. 4:35 left here in the third quarter. We just had a technical foul called on Paige Kohler, and for our listeners, senior here at Bowling Green State University, Kohler is a junior and 3 years of calling the team. I can't remember if she's ever gotten a technical foul in the past 3 seasons. It was a good spot for you there, Adam, to spot it, but again, left confused. We don't know what the exact call was, but they waved up the basket, and Toledo goes 1 for 2 there from the free throw line.
Yeah, usually officials, it has to be something bad. It's not, you can't just say, oh, I made it over you. Usually you have to swear at the other player. So it'd be interesting, maybe a rivalry game, but that's something interesting to see about post-game as well.
Indeed, we shall see.
And also, Anumba made the first technical free throw, missed the second one, but that point still could matter in a 3-point game.
It definitely can. As on inbound one to Carruthers. And Carruthers will bring this one up, guarded by Bland Fitzpatrick. Here's Dykstra. Anumba. Weaver thought about range 2. Anumba again. Weaver. Carruthers, shotgun down the 5. It's tipped away and stolen from Gherkin. Here comes Donahue on the fast break. Donahue spins, looks for an option, gets it to Kai Woods, who hands it off to Kohler. Bowling Green only down by 3 under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Gherkin to Woods. And to Donahue. Here's Donahue. She can drive. She'll float it up. Looking for Bland Fitzpatrick. And that was the last-ditch touch-off there from Weaver, who threw her entire body off that pass. It was still a BG ball here with 6 on the shot clock.
Yeah, good look there by Donahue to float it inside, but good recovery defensively.
Core to Gherkin. Deep 2. Gherkin off front iron, no good. Big rebound, Bland Fitzpatrick. And they say she was fouled. Jumping up for that rebound. Got the legs taken out from underneath her. That'll be on Carruthers.
Plays like that help keep you in the game, and now the shot clock's reset all the way up to 20.
Kohler. Hand off to Donahue. Donahue drives inside, and again she's fouled. This time Anumba.
And now Bowling Green enters the bonus.
Bonus now coming up for Bowling Green as that's actually Dykstra, the first personal foul. As Donahue will get her first one from the line. We got that one to go.
Donahue has had it with all her free throws where they seem to hit the front of the rim and then the backboard. She has a system to make them.
That second one just rolled around and out.
That's my fault. That's a jinx.
That's
right
commentator's
there.
curse, Adam, right there. Pure definition.
7 of 8 now.
36-34. Toledo up by 2. 3:30 left here in the third. Here's Carruthers on Bland Fitzpatrick. Carruthers drives. Got it. Got an open lane to the basket. 38-34. Lead back up to 4. Here's Donahue. Donahue right wing. Donahue drives, puts it up, and swat away. There from Carrier. As Toledo comes back their way. Ayumba. Open 3. Carruthers on the right side, and that one in and out. Into the hands, though. Ayumba gets it right back. That one no good. Rebounded from Carrier. And now the foul's called.
That was strange. I think Bland Fitzpatrick thought she heard a whistle because she just stood with her hands up and let the ball get rebounded underneath right there as a set of free throws for Carrier that ultimately shouldn't have happened if Bowling Green just went for a rebound.
Ellis will come in for Bland Fitzpatrick. As Carrier now will go to the line. Just 4 points for her on the night. A pair of assists, and the first one rolls around and is no good.
Carrier just below 73% from the line on the season.
Here comes Carrier's second attempt. Got it. 39-34, and leads up to 5 once again for Toledo. The Falcons still trying to get back either tied or take a lead for the first time this game. Been down since the opening tip-off. Gherkin lobs it up inside. Ellis to Woods. Still Woods. Woods drives. Donahue. Shot clock down to 3. Donahue got it. Got a couple of bounces, but it rolls around, drops. 15 points now for Donahue. 39-36. And Toledo again up by 3. 2:15 left in the third. Anumba drives on Woods, and Ellis travels, going to be called. Bowling Green ball.
Yeah, Ellis stood pat there on defense, and Anumba just continued to try to drive and lost her control there as Toledo now moves all the way up to 21 turnovers on the night. Bowling Green only with 12.
Here's Ellis. Woods. Kohler. He's inside to Ellis. Ellis drives to the left there. A lot of contact. The shot won't fall. But I believe we got a pair of free throws coming up. And that was on Carrier.
Ellis almost had that one fall as you saw it just pop off the rim barely. But Ellis now trying to look for her first points on the night.
Here's Ellis' first attempt. Got it. Their first points of the contest hit off the front of the rim and off the back and dropped. A chance to cut the lead down to 1. Ellis got it. 39-38 Toledo. A minute 51 left. Cecil comes in for Kohler.
Both teams taking advantage of free throws. Bowling Green 11 of 12. Toledo 10 of 12.
Numba again will come up on Woods. Left side, Caruthers. That's a step back three. Caruthers off the mark, rebounded, and is right into a path of sea of yellow jerseys. Caruthers on Donahue. Caruthers outside. That's an open three. Wide open for Ella Weaver. That one no good. Ellis fine for the rebound, and it's going to be Toledo ball. And they'll get Ellis actually for the foul on that too. That's going to be her third.
Yeah, earlier when she went for a rebound and went over a Rocket player, I guess they called that foul on Kaya Woods. So Ellis not entirely in threat of being disqualified for too many fouls, but not a good situation.
First one's off the mark there from Diallo. 39-38. Second one's off the mark as well. Bowling Green down by 1. A minute 15 left before the fourth quarter. Here's Gherkin. And hands in the face there from Weaver. Trying to just shield her vision. Woods to Donahue. Donahue. Couple step backs. Donahue again. Inside to Ellis. Ellis drives. Ellis up and in. Bowling Green has a lead for the first time this game as Taya Ellis didn't score the first 2 quarters. 40-39 Bowling Green leads. We have 40 seconds left here in the third. Diala taking it up there with Ellis. Out to Weaver. She drives inside on Gherkin. A little bit too strong there. Fine for the rebounds in the Caruthers. Here's Caruthers on Woods. Woods kind of gets stepped on. The way the basket travel's going to be called. And how about that resilience for Bowling Green, Adam? Now you sit with 25.8 seconds left before the fourth, and you might have a lead on the road in Savage Arena heading into the fourth quarter.
All the energy is sucked out of this building right now as Bowling Green has just continued on this 6-0 run right now to just play sound defense, help rotate, and right there, that's part of it. Kaya Woods got knocked down, and Caruthers traveled due to the help defense coming into her path.
Shot clock is off. 16 seconds left here in the third. 40-39 Bowling Green. Kaya Woods will try to take this all the way down to the fourth quarter. Woods wants a screen set from Gherkin. Woods out to Gherkin. She's open for a three. Lauren Gherkin now and just off to the right. It's out of bounds, and Toledo will have the ball with 2.4 seconds left.
You could hear the collective gasp from the crowd as Lauren Gherkin was left wide open on that three, but had to go towards the right side of the rim.
Inbound, Noumba, and doesn't get the shot in time. And that's how the third quarter is going to come to a close. Bowling Green's got a lead heading into the fourth. 40-39, the orange and brown up by 1. We got a good fourth quarter coming up here to finish this one out. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 here on Falcon Radio.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I taught for 20 years, until I started forgetting my lectures.
Eventually, he had to quit. Getting his early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard, but it gave us time to take control of the situation, together.
I can't imagine going through this without him.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do? Text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Fourth quarter action here at Savage Arena. Bowling Green 40, Toledo 39. The Falcons trailed all game long until a layup there from Taya Ellis. They give them the lead heading into the fourth. Luke Kleinmeyer, Adam Duffin on the call with you, Carter Leonard and Kevin Hutchinson in studio in the Cooling Centers and Falcon Radio. And I don't think any of us could predict this how this was going to go after the first quarter. Toledo up by as much as almost 20 points. They were up by, I believe, at one point 18. Got to double check my math there, but regardless, we got a great fourth quarter here coming up here in Savage Arena.
Yeah, so far in that third quarter, Bowling Green has just continued to make Toledo have to fight for every basket possible, as it's more steals in the passing lanes that Lauren Durkin has done an excellent job sealing off players in the post, and you wouldn't expect it. She's not the biggest player on the roster for Bowling Green, as Kendall Moxie and Taya Ellis would be more of the target, you think, for a paint presence, but she's done a great job helping down low. Her teammates then off her tipped passes have been aware enough to help get the ball and push it down in transition. And on the offensive end, it hasn't gone perfectly for Bowling Green, but they almost had 0 turnovers since the first quarter. I believe only 3 across the last 2. And if they start to hit shots down the stretch here, they can help steal an impressive road victory.
Kohler inbound this one, the Woods. Bowling Green going from left to right on your radio dial, and that's going to still be BG ball. Almost went down as an early turnover. Toledo will be going from right to left. Donahue's got 15. And a reminder, your post game will be joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas and our BG Falcon Media Fundrika player of the game. Carl Leonard and Kevin Hutchinson will also have the post game show on Falcon Radio as well. Here's Kaya Woods. Drives right, Gherkin, top of the key, inside Ellis. Here's Ellis. Woods spins, puts it up a little bit short, no good. Rebound taken away from Fed Robinson. Just 2 points for her, 1 for 8 shooting on the night. Fed Robinson. Trying to get going here in the fourth quarter. Diala. Fed Robinson looks for an option. Underneath the basket there, they find this one, the Dykstra. Dykstra open, Fed Robinson for 3, rolls around and out. Big rebound there from Ellis. Toledo now 3 for 15 from beyond the arc. Woods, hand off to Kohler. Kohler, that's a deep 2. A little bit too strong there, and it's out of bounds for a Rocket ball.
Close shot there by Kohler, but on the other end, Fed Robinson wide open in the corner. It's a good look. However, she's only a 21% three-point shooter on the season. It's not exactly who you want in that spot.
So they inbound it. And they say, give us a second. Okay, and now we'll do it again. Not sure what that one was about. Maybe checking to see if the time is right. Right now we have 8:55 left here in the fourth. 39 Toledo, 40 for Bowling Green. As we miss one, the Dykstra. Dykstra in the Cole, opening the basket. Fed Robinson up and in. And here come the lead changes. 41-40 Toledo. 8:40 left to go here in the fourth. Kohler, Woods, Gherkin. They switch it all the way out. Left wing Donahue. She'll drive up a high contested shot, no good. Fights for a rebound, gets it. Kohler, she'll set her feet for a three. Too strong there. Elliser just can't hold in the rebound. Now Fed Robinson on the fast break, putting it up, and no good as Gherkin fouls her.
Yeah, right there. Donahue, tough layup, got the rebound, leads to an open Kohler three. She can't hit it. And Taya Ellis, it looked like she had it with two hands, just couldn't corral it, as that's a possession that you think about if a game ends being a 1 or 2 possession loss.
Man, you got to hit your open shots, and there's been a couple this game belonging just hasn't been able to knock down. As Fed Robinson from the line, first one is good. So 42-40 now, Toledo.
75% free throw shooter.
There's the second one for Fed Robinson's good as well, 43-40. As the Falcons come back up the court with it. Woods bounce pass here to Donahue. Donahue drives, looks, hand off to Gherkin. Here's Gherkin still. Gwen Fitzpatrick drives baseline. Kicks it out, Woods. Woods, nice pump fake. Woods drives. Oh, almost got that one to go. She is fouled though. A good three-point play there for Bowling Green, a chance to tie, but instead Woods got a trip to the line.
Yeah, Kaya Woods driving aggressively all night long, but 0-5 from the field. However, she can help the team with these free throws.
And that one's good, 43-41. 7:55 left here in this one.
Woods a 76% free throw shooter for the Falcons.
There's Woods again. That one no good. Toledo remains with a 2-point lead. And they'll hand this one up to Dykstra. I shall come up the court. Out to the left wing, Cole. Fed Robinson, Dykstra fires it inside. Diala outside in the corner, Cole. So good passing on the way the Rockets from in and around the arc. There's Fed Robinson. Drive on Bland Fitzpatrick, got some separation. That one no good. Rebound there from Gherkin. Gherkin into Donahue. Here's Donahue. Driving baseline, Donahue looking for an option. Outside Woods. Now Woods drives. Outside Gherkin will take a three. Lauren Gherkin just off the mark to the right. Here's Dykstra. Getting by Woods, past Gherkin. That one just a bit short. Fighting for the rebound there, Bowling Green. Gherkin's knocked off the ball from Cole. That one no good. Again, rebound on the ground. That one goes and one. Count the three-point play. And it's Cole. Just 2 points on the game. Now 4. And now she has a chance to make a three-point play and put the Rockets up by 5.
And that's part of the issue with the current lineup is that besides Lauren Gherkin, no one's that much of a physical force inside. So there's 2 quality rebounders there for Toledo that are able to fight over.
That one's good. 46-41. The lead is up to 5 again. Bowling Green needs a basket. They can't let it get too much out of hand. It's been hard to come by for both these teams as the game has developed. Here's Gherkin. Gherkin finds Kohler. Now Kohler drives. Spins. Trying to lob it up to Bland Fitzpatrick. Got it. Bland Fitzpatrick spins. Too strong. An empty possession there. Toledo's got a 4-on-5 back the other way. Cole the left wing. Fed Robinson. And the whistle will be blown.
3-second violation is the call.
So a violation there for Toledo. And I hope a hand here for Bowling Green with 6:15 left here. They're down by 5. And a timeout taken here for head coach Fred Shamil. This timeout is sponsored by Junior Brewing Company. You see this menu at juniorperbrew.com. We'll take it with them. Bowling Green trying to come back and win the first leg of the Battle of I-75 here at Savage Arena. 46-41 is your score here on Falcon Radio. Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com. Toledo up by 5, 46-41 here at Savage Arena in the Battle of I-75. It's been a Toledo run here, 7-1 in the past almost 5 minutes coming out from the third quarter. Lucas Climate, Adam Duffin alongside with you. Reminder, we'll have Maggie Lucas joining us post-game, along with our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guy player of the game. And Adam, as the lights went dark here, don't get scared. I know it can be kind of scary first, but if you're Bowling Green, what stats stand out to you in this one here as we get down to the closing stages?
Well, Bowling Green has taken care of the ball. They only have 12 turnovers in this game, and 9 of those were in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, Toledo's got 23 turnovers. So on paper, if you have a plus 11 turnover differential, you should be in the lead. They were until a couple minutes ago, and it's just been the issue of hitting shots. When you're 27% from the field and 27% from 3, you're not in a position to succeed. The lucky thing is that Toledo is 32% from the field and 20% from 3. So only down 5 with just over 6 minutes to go. Bowling Green has just got to hit their open shots. That's the simple key to this towards the end. And hit a couple shots, stop Toledo on a couple possessions.
Bowling Green 27% shooting from the field and from 3. But they're only down by 5. After they allowed 23 points in the first quarter, they've only allowed 23 since, and we have 6:14 left here in the fourth. It'll be Woods inbound to Donahue. As Donahue come up with it the other way. There's Donahue. Kohler. Now pass ends off to Donahue. Donahue mid-range jumper. That one just off the mark. Bland Fitzpatrick fighting for the rebound. Keeps it in play. Kicks it out to Donahue. Fires just one on the side. Woods. That's open 3 for Kyle Woods off front iron. And rebound for Fed Robinson. And a foul going to be called there on Donahue. It's maybe a frustration one. Helsing back on defense. And that's going to be third.
I feel like Fed Robinson kind of sold the contact a little bit because she was hit towards the arms, but then moved her head back, trying to help cater to the contact. And there, it's something Donahue can't do. If you're going back in transition, you just got to not hit the ball handler.
12 rebounds for Fed Robinson. And 6 points for her. She's 4 points away from a double-double. That is far beyond the highest of anyone between these two teams this game. Carruthers to the right side of Fed Robinson. Carruthers gets it right back. Outside right wing again, Fed Robinson. Spins, Carruthers. Drives inside with the left, and they're going to get an offensive foul on Carruthers. Kohler did well there to set her feet and take the contact.
I don't know what Carruthers is complaining about because that was a stiff arm. That was a full running back running into Paige Kohler right there, as that was a hard foul, and Bowling Green has got to take advantage of another opportunity. And big thing here, Carruthers, someone they like to use their offense through. She has 4 fouls and is now sitting on the bench.
Woods puts it out to Kohler. Donahue. Gherkin. Here's Woods again. Bland Fitzpatrick. Gherkin on the left side still. Donahue. Still down by 5, Bowling Green, under 5 minutes left to play. Donahue spins, puts it up and in. Donahue's got 17. And it's 46-43. Toledo again up by 3. Carruthers. Guarded by Kyle Woods. Diala finally inside. Cole got separation past Gherkin, and Gherkin's going to call for the foul. She tried to block it cleanly. And that's going to be Gherkin's 3rd personal. And that's going to take us to our 4th and final media timeout. This time, once again, sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, located 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green. Serving coffee, craft beer, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll take it with them 46-43, Toledo up by 3 here in the Battle of I-75 here on Falcon Radio.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
46-43, Toledo up by 3, 4:34 left here in the Battle of I-75 here at Savage Arena. The Falcons looking to get a huge road win and get to 5-5 in MAC play. Toledo looking at their 11th win of the season and continue their good form as of late. Lucas Clymer, Adam Duffin alongside with you. And I think it's safe to say that we're going to have a good one here down the stretch here in the final under 5 minutes left.
Yeah, right now, Bowling Green down by 3. They have to get some shots to fall as they're still at the 27% mark. And, you don't want to force a 3, but, down by 3, if Toledo continues to score, it's been tough for Bowling Green to get consecutive baskets. So they're running out of possessions to be able to make this mini comeback.
So after we come from this media timeout, we will have free throws coming up. It will be Cole from the line off that Gherkin foul. As Cole's first one's good. We get 47-43 Toledo. Second one up from Cole. And that one takes a couple bounces and no good. And a travel is going to be called there on Bland Fitzpatrick. Wow.
She went up for the rebound, looked like she got knocked down, but they're going to call it a travel.
I didn't know she had full wow, all right. Heading out here, Diala. Anumba. Open 3, Ella Weaver. That one takes a couple bounces out, no good. Diala comes away with it. Strong finish on the glass. Weaver makes it a 6-point Rocket lead, 49-43. There's a strong finish there in the paint between two Falcons. Here's Kyle Woods. Woods to Kohler. Kohler out to Woods. Here's Kohler again. Kohler drives to the contact. She's fouled. We'll see who they get for Toledo. And it's going to be on Weaver as Kohler will go to the charity stripe for the first time all game. 10 points for her. Now make it 11. 49-44.
Lots of Kohler's scoring came in that rally in the second quarter, but she can come up clutch down the stretch.
Kohler again, 2 for 2, 49-45. As Gherkin comes out, Ellis is in. Blaine Fitzpatrick's back in as well. Here's Fed Robinson. Puts up Anumba. Anumba driving inside the baseline. Onwards, Anumba inside in the post. Diala, a lot of contact. That one no good. Loose ball on the ground. Diala gets it right back. Diala, Caruthers. Anumba open through the right wing. Too strong. Kohler fights and gets the rebound. This could be a big stop for Bowling Green. They can make it happen on the offensive end. Here's Bland Fitzpatrick. Kicks it out. Donahue. Not the pass she might have wanted. Donahue. A lot of contact. Spins. Moves and got it. 19 points for Donahue. And the lead back down to 2. 49-47 Toledo.
Very good job by Bowling Green handling the multiple opportunities that Toledo had. And a good move by Donahue down low.
Ayumba. Weaver. Here's Fed Robinson on Bland Fitzpatrick. Ayumba on Ellis. And they're going to get a foul on Ellis. And, oh no. And she's holding her leg. And they're signaling for the trainer. Oh no, this is not good. So I do believe we'll have free throws coming up. The athletic trainer will attend to Ellis on the floor. And we'll take a quick step aside. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 here on Falcon Radio.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Well, good news for the Falcons fans as Taya Ellis is off the floor and walked off. Looked like her leg might got stuck underneath the basket. She did pick up her 4th personal foul, unfortunately, for Bowling Green, but seems to be okay as Lauren Gherkin comes back into the fray.
And for BG, Lauren Gherkin does provide the ability to shoot from beyond the arc, so it'll be interesting to see down the stretch.
Diala's first attempt from the line, that one off to the left. Still just a 2-point Toledo lead, 49-47.
Good game for Diala, as 6 points and 8 rebounds in the night.
And the second one is good. So 50-47, it's a 3-point lead for the Rockets. We've hit halfway 100 mark for Toledo. There's Woods, Gherkin. Gherkin for an option, Kohler. Kohler drives baseline, kicks it out, Donahue. Donahue drives, gets it back to Kohler. Donahue again, shot clock down to 7. Donahue drives inside, Donahue puts it up, a lot of contact. Bland Fitzpatrick picks it up on the rebound. Shot clock is going to expire as Woods 3-ball. Couldn't get it to go. I think Bowling Green just took too long there.
And there, Bland Fitzpatrick, there is only 2 or 3 seconds. I think she's just got to try to force a shot, hope for a foul, hope she at least hits it on the rim and someone else can come in for a rebound, because there just wasn't going to be an option to immediately shoot that ball.
2:20 left, 50-47, Toledo up by 3. Fed Robinson. Bland Fitzpatrick guarding Fed Robinson. There's Weaver. Caruthers. Weaver top of the key guard from Kohler. Screen set here from Diala. Weaver mid-range jumper. 2. Nothing but net. Under 2 minutes to play. Bowling Green down by 5. Long inlet pass. Bland Fitzpatrick got to go. What full court vision there for Bowling Green.
The excitement of Weaver's basket just distracted the whole Rockets team. And now
Loose
Donahue.
pass. Hold that thought, Adam, as Donahue gets the steal. Bowling Green down by 3, a minute 28 left. 52-49, wow. Here's Donahue drives. Outside, Gherkin 3 to tie. Just a bit short. Minute 10 left. Back the other way, Faith Fed Robinson. Timeout taken though from Toledo. Man, that was a big opportunity for a 3. We'll stay right here. This timeout once again sponsored by Junior Brewing Company. You see the latest menu on juniorbrew.com. And I don't know if more stuff could have happened there in that past 15 seconds.
I mean, Weaver is left open for a mid-range shot. She's the leading scorer for Toledo and has been their best shooter the past couple games. And then immediately Bowling Green responds as Joniah Bland Fitzpatrick, no one was down the floor with her. Toledo completely lacked concentration. Then they turned the ball over trying to break the press. And Bowling Green just couldn't convert, but now down 3, they got to get a stop and score. And keep in mind that technical foul on Paige Kohler led to 1 made free throw.
Inbound here. Maumba. We are now reached a first minute left. Can Bowling Green get a stop here? It's a 3-point lead for the Rockets. Faith Robinson kicks it out. Weaver too strong. Maumba wide open 3. Is that the dagger? We'll see. As Maumba makes it a 6-point Rocket lead, 55-49, with 53.6 seconds left.
And right there, just Bowling Green, they tried to close in on where the passes were going, and it just led to an open Anumba as she hit a big shot on a night where she's been 3 of 11 from the field.
Well, it's been a thrilling one, that's for sure. Bowling Green should be proud of the comeback they've had, and we'll see what happens here. But Bowling Green's going to need a 3 and some help. As Kyle Woods will inbound this one right in front of the BG bench. And you're going to need a 3. At least a basket of some sort. Woods looking for an option. And the Gherkin. Gherkin out to Woods. Woods drives inside. Puts about a highly contested shot. And now Bowling Green's got to play defense. A quick foul there from Donahue.
Kaya Woods must have been banking on a foul call because she threw that ball up and it was on the top of the backboard.
That ball was thrown up to Michigan.
As she now is 0 for 7 from the field.
And now Faith Fed Robinson will go to the line. And that knocks down the first one. And that makes it a 3-possession game, 56-49.
Bowling Green is going to need to score and hope for a lot of missed Toledo free throws.
That second one is no good. And timeout taken from Shamil on the Falcons. And you knew that open 3. And this game's been so close. It's been just a 3-5-point lead for Toledo for a majority of the game. Is that you couldn't have left someone wide open. And if you did, you're going to need to hit on your offensive possessions that you have. And just so many times tonight, Bowling Green just hasn't been able to do so.
Yeah, it's been an unfortunate shooting night for the Falcons as you look up and down the roster. The only person shooting 50% or higher is Emily Cecil, and she did that by being 1 of 2 from 3-point range. Aside from that, Janaea Donahue 6 of 16 from the field, and the rest it's been a struggle as Lauren Gherkin 2 for 12 in the night. All those shots being 3-pointers except 1. And Kaya Woods 0 for 7 from the field in her 33 minutes of play as well. As Bowling Green, in a game that started off with a lot of turnovers early, they've been able to fix that. However, they haven't been able to hit their shots.
Have it 5 for 20 for 3, 15 for 52. That's all good for 20%. Toledo hasn't been much better. They've been worse from 3. so only a bit better, 34% shooting, but they made their open shots, and that Numba 3 might be the difference. Yeah, down by 7 with 42 seconds left. We'll see if Bowling Green can potentially maybe even force overtime. We'll see here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you miss their shots all game and hit them late, and that's what Anumba did right there.
And they'll get a foul on Bowling Green.
5-second violation, very important to at least try to get the ball in no matter what. Have an internal clock in your head, and unfortunately just that might be the nail in the coffin for the Falcons.
It appears it might be. And it's just hasn't gone their way down the stretch. Rutgers, wide opens, Weaver putting the icing on the cake. Ella Weaver, 58-49, Toledo. Donahue, Kohler will try a three. No good. And it'll be BG ball with about 24 seconds left.
At this point, BG would have to score immediately each time and hope for missed free throws. Very unlikely end as they have 0 timeouts.
Griffin couldn't knock that one down as Donahue tried to get the loose pass after the missed shot. And Numba comes back the other way. And that'll probably do it for this one for Bowling Green as Kira Miller will come back in.
And it seems to be the story of conference plays so far for Bowling Green. Aside from the Ohio loss, they have been in all these games late, and they just can't pull it away in those clutch final minutes.
They'll go to 4-6 in Mid-American Conference play, and they'll go to almost 500 on the season, which is pretty remarkable to say. Go to 11-10 on the year. And it's not a position they envision themselves being in. And the second one's no good, 59-49, 15 seconds left. Kohler will dance around, try mid-range jumper, no good. And that's how this one will come to a close. Toledo takes the first edition of the Battle of I-75 once again this season as they defeat the Falcons 59-49 and hand the Falcons their 6th Mid-American Conference loss of the season.
And for Bowling Green, unfortunate loss. It kind of takes them out of the picture of being able to catch Toledo in the standings unless both teams move in drastically different directions. And they really need to get some wins here down the stretch. They don't have an easy schedule. They have some tough road games still on the mark. And the next time they face Toledo, they're going to want sweet revenge for sure, as this one was a game they think they definitely should have won after they had the lead after 3 quarters.
Reminder, we'll have assistant coach Maggie Lucas join us post-game and our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink at Player of the Game, Janaea Donahue. But before that, we'll turn it back over to Kevin Hutchinson and Carl Leonard in the studio as this finishes 59-49 Toledo over Bowling Green.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hello, everybody. This is Kevin Hutchinson with Carter Leonard back here in the studio for your post-game show. Falcons fall to the Rockets on the road by a score of 59-49. So in our post-game show here, we're just going to go over some takeaways from this game. Carter, I'll let you start us off here. What is your main takeaway from this result?
Well, I think really what you have to look at from the big picture standpoint is admire Bowling Green's, fight and determination to really stay in this game. As we mentioned during the halftime break, they were down 23-9 at one point, and they were able to fight hard throughout the rest of the first half and even majority of the second, and getting the lead at one point. But just Toledo still was able to pull away with the win at the end by 10 points, and the Falcons, unfortunately, just not able to get it done on their end.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw, down the stretch in this fourth quarter here, couple clutch shots for the Rockets, including one by Patricia Anumba to stretch the lead to 6. And then they had some more points there to sort of stretch the lead in the end. But ultimately, good effort by the Falcons, especially coming back from that first quarter deficit, as you said, but obviously now in a position where falling to 11-10 overall, falling to 4-6 in Mid-American Conference play. Toledo picks up a crucial win here at home to move to 8-2 in their home games this season, so they're winning 80% of their games at home. I think just one thing that you see from the result here. We talked about Ella Weaver before this game coming off the bench. She led Toledo in points with 15. She was very solid today.
Yeah, definitely, and that was one of the players that we thought about that was going to really step up for this Rockets team, shooting 5 for 9 from the field, 50% from the 3-point line as well, 2 for 2 free throws, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and only committed 4 turnovers to to Toledo's total turnover margin was 25-19 against Bowling Green, and that's kind of a very interesting stat to think about, that when a team has a little bit more turnovers, so that they're still able to pull away from a for a 10-point victory. But another thing that you got to keep in mind as well, Kevin, and Adam mentioned it as soon as the clock hit 0, that when it comes to the Mid-America Conference standings, Bowling Green now has put themselves in a very interesting situation, sitting now at 11-10, 4-6. So unless something drastically happens, throughout the rest of the regular season, it's going to be a big uphill climb for the Falcons, led by Fred Schmiel.
For sure, and you definitely want to avoid, these kind of, I think collapse is probably a strong word, but you want to avoid these moments late in the game where your shots just aren't falling, and that's where BG was here in these final 5 minutes or so. Overall, competitive, definitely competitive, and if you look at Bowling Green, the leading scorer for the Falcons today being Janaea Donahue with 19 points. And you also had Paige Kohler scoring 12. Just what were your thoughts on Donahue and Kohler's performance today?
Well, I think one of the big key parts about this, and I believe Adam mentioned it near the end of the first quarter, I believe it was like a minute or 40 left, is he said he was talking about how Paige Kohler really needed to get going. And then that's something that we talked about in the pregame, was getting off to those fast starts. And if you get off to those fast starts, it can lead to, those big, deficits, being a lot smaller than you normally anticipate.
Yeah, for sure. And we are going to toss it back here to Lucas and Adam. They are going to be conducting a quick post-game interview here at Savage Arena. We're going to send it right to them. Don't go anywhere.
We are now joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas. Coach, as always, thank you for joining us post-games. Apologies for the result here, back and forth game, but just overall, just your opening thoughts on the game.
Yeah, got off to a rough start, but we battled back really well. Just can't put ourselves in a hole like that. But proud of how we fought. Obviously, rebounding was a big thing. Get back to the drawing board and get ready for the next one.
Yeah, so obviously the first quarter wasn't what you guys have wanted, but what did you kind of see in the second quarter and then even coming out in the third quarter that kind of changed for you guys to eventually get that lead in the third? When you head into the fourth quarter, you had a 1-point lead.
Yeah, defensive pressure was good for us, turning them over. I believe they had 17 turnovers in the first half.
Correct.
Defensive pressure definitely did that for us. Some good things to be taken away, some things we got to work on, and just keep getting better.
For sure. And, Coach, I know it's not the stretch you guys have won the past couple of games, but got Kent State coming up on Wednesday. How do you kind of just keep this group motivated, confident, knowing that you got Wednesday to get a big road win before you have a Sun Belt break and then you get back into MAC play?
Yeah, I mean, it's, motivation is just how close the conference is right now. Every game's important, so that should be motivation enough for us. And Kent, they've battled some adversity and are playing really well, so we got to come in ready to go. Well,
Coach, as always, we really appreciate your time, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll be joined by our player of the game, Janaea Donahue. But afterwards, we'll send it right back in the studio with Kevin Hutchin and Carl Leonard standing by.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
All right, welcome back here to the Falcon Radio studio. That was Maggie Lucas, assistant coach for the Bowling Green Falcons. This is Kevin Hutchinson once again with Carter Leonard, and we are going to be taking a look at our player of the game pick. And we are also going to be taking a look at some of the other women's college basketball scores from around the country. So, Carter, in light of today's result, who is your player of the game?
I'm definitely going to have to go with Janaea Donahue for the Falcons. Of course, not only the leading scorer for the team, 6 for 16 from the field, 7-8 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks as well. So Janaea Donahue having a nice stretch of games there for a little bit, and she's continuing to progress as the season goes along.
Yeah, for sure. And I will give my player of the game right after this. We're going to toss back to Lucas, and he is going to be talking to Janaea Donahue here in just 1 second.
Thanks, Kevin. We're now joined by our player of the game, Janaea Donahue. Janaea, as always, apologies for the loss, but thank you so much for joining us post-game. Just your opening thoughts on the game.
I think we did a great job fighting back from the deficit that we started with. Very tough environment to play in, but pulling each other in and fighting back, I think that's one that built us more together in this game.
Yeah. Obviously, on the start, you guys won in the first quarter, but you guys battled back in the second quarter, then even in the third, and eventually had that 1-point lead heading to the fourth. What do you feel like kind of changed for you guys on the court during those stretches?
I feel like the runs that we had, we just need to be more consistent. I mean, we lost some bodies during the game due to foul trouble, so just being small out there, I mean, we got killed on the boards. So if we can clean up the little stuff, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. And as you as one of the leaders of this team, you know, how do you kind of just keep this group, you know, confident? No, it hasn't been the stretch you guys have won the past couple of games, you know, besides the Akron result. You know, got Kent State Wednesday, beat them once this season. You know, how do you make sure you get another road win before you have a little bit of break in MAC play?
Yeah, it's just looking ahead. I mean, the MAC is a hard conference to play in. Like, everybody's at the same level, I feel like. So just being able to look forward, it's hard to beat a team twice, so Kent State's going to give us all they got, especially they're at home. So just being able to put this one behind us, and we know we're going to see them again at the Stro. And have another great environment like this, but it's on our side this time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Nan, I don't want to take too much more of your time. Thank you so much for joining us post-game, and apologies on the loss, and good luck on Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
That'll do it for us here at Savage Arena. Here from my broadcast partner, Adam Duffin. I'm Lucas Kleinmeyer. We'll turn it back over to Carter Leonard and Kevin Hutchin one final time in the cooling zone. They'll wrap it up and send you guys off on your Saturday evening. I'm Lucas Kleinmeyer saying so long. Final score, Toledo wins 59-49.
Thank you, Lucas, and great job to Lucas and Adam on the broadcast there. So I was going to talk about, before we cut back for that interview, I was just going to mention my player of the game pick. And Carter, this might be a pick you might not expect, but I'm going to go with Patricia Anumba for the Rockets, not because she lit up the stat sheet, but because of that clutch shot that she had, that three-pointer in the fourth quarter that stretched the Rocket lead to 6 with about 55 seconds left. That kind of felt like the dagger play to me. And Adam said this on the broadcast, and I fully agree. it's not always about the quantity of the plays you make, but about when you make them. And that was a play she made in a crucial spot. She also was second on the team in scoring with 13 points. She had a steal as well, and she had 6 total rebounds. So I just think her all-around performance, combined with that clutch shot at the end, was a really big factor. And we're going to take also a quick look at some of the other women's college scores from around the country right now. We're going to look at some of those other results here. Moving to the Big Ten, Oregon defeated number 16 ranked Maryland 68-61, and 19th ranked Princeton beat Cornell in a battle of Ivies 72-61. And tomorrow there are going to be some marquee matchups, between Michigan and Michigan State, Tennessee and UConn, and an SEC matchup between Alabama and LSU. But bringing it back to Bowling Green, Carter, what are some of our Falcon athletic events that are going on right now?
Well, Kevin, the basketball action does not stop here. Currently, BGSU men's basketball all the way up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan against the Central Michigan Chippewas. That game is currently taking place right now, as well as at home for the Bowling Green Falcons. We also have BGSU hockey going on right now, day 2 of the weekend series between them and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Bowling Green was leading 1-0 at the end of the first period, but Notre Dame has stormed back early in the second period with a 2-1 lead. And as far as the Bowling Green Central Michigan game goes, last we checked, Central Michigan was up 8-2 with about 3 minutes in, so we'll see how that goes throughout the rest of the night.
Yeah, for sure. And before we wrap up this post-game show here and this broadcast overall, if you just have one final thought about this game and the implications going forward.
Like I mentioned before, it's going to be a big uphill battle for Bowling Green now. They're going to have to really, hunker down and lock in, so to speak, because the end of the regular season for MAC play is definitely one of the hardest stretches because, this is where there's little to no room for error whatsoever. And for this Fred Schmiel-led squad, that's definitely going to be the mindset moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. That will be something the Falcons are going to focus on. Thank you all for tuning into this broadcast of Falcon women's basketball here on Falcon Radio. We're going to get you back to some music. Shout out once again to Lucas Kleinmeyer and Adam Duffin there on the broadcast. Thank you, Carter, for joining me here in the studio. Always a pleasure. And the women's team will be back in action for more games this season. Be sure to tune in to Falcon Radio for those games. Have a great night, everybody, and I, Ziggy Zumba.
From the Michael and Sarah Kulin Center, Falcon Radio. Tune in at bgfalconmedia.com.